Hello, everyone. Think that's working okay? Hello. How are we doing on the well, I was going to say lovely, but kind of a miserable or wet Saturday afternoon, really. Let me know in the chat. Can you hear me okay? As always, got earphones. I should probably untangle them just in case the sound isn't great. But let me know if you can hear me okay. But yeah, this is the first time I'm attempting this for a game, even though it's obviously a friendly, so the result isn't really of importance in comparison to league games anyway. But yeah, I thought we'll just give it a try. We'll see what it's like. So obviously here I'm going to be pretty much chatting to the camera for about 2 and a bit hours. So I've got a bit of respect for the likes of Jam Sani and Mad Mistake, who've been able to do this seemingly seamlessly. But there you have it. We'll wait and see how this ends up going. But very quickly, obviously, for those of you who don't know, obviously, hang on. Hello, first game. Right, Kyle, Jack, you two in the comment. Can you hear me okay? I just want to make sure that the sound's definitely working all right. I suppose people could consider that a good or a bad thing, depending on your point of view. But this is the plan. So, yes, okay, Jack can hear me. Sounds spot on. Right, good. Okay, that's encouraging. My gobs are loud enough anyway, but I've got these just in case they are needed. Anyway, how are we all doing? So this, for those of you who probably have been living under a rock, this is the second pre-season friendly that Sunderland have today. The first one being at South Shields, where it finished South Shields 3, Sunderland 4. And I believe that our goals came from Semedo or Hemea, whichever one you pronounce it, whichever name you prefer, was his first goal. Jack Clark got a brace for the second and third goals before Chris Rigg won the game late on for Sunderland. So yeah, let me know. Did you catch any of the game and see what you think of it? I caught bits and pieces of it here and there, and bits of it looked all right. I think bits of it looked a bit drab. It looked a bit like we lacked a bit of match sharpness, but this was our first pre-season friendly, I believe. So, bearing in mind, we'll have had about 7 weeks off for the lads. So I wasn't expecting us to be the sharpest we're ever going to be. But yeah, I mean, I haven't seen Jack Clark's second goal. That's how organised I am. But still, regardless, I have seen the first, second, and fourth goals. Jack Clark got a good finish for the second. Good to see. I'll tell you what, Semedo's a big bloke, isn't he? He's got a bit of he's got some on paper anyway. In theory, he's got attributes that are going to really suit the Championship. Sam says we hit the bar like 3 times. Okay, from what I saw, South Shields played all right, but again, I didn't catch the whole game. I just saw bits and pieces of it on the stream. Obviously, for those of you who maybe want to put the game on at the same time as listening to me yap away, it is on SAFC. In fact, I'll put the link in the chat just so people can click onto it if they so wish. Bear with me a moment. Right, there we go. That is the link that if you want to click on that and see the stream, you can watch the game and maybe put my voice on in the background, whichever way you want to do. But anyway, I've just got a couple of messages from a couple of friends who are at the game. Let's have a look. What's it like? I was debating going today, but unfortunately, I'm kind of needed for dog sitting duty, basically. But to be honest, I'm not too gutted that I'm not there. Although it would have been nice to have gone. See, now, so it doesn't look a bad view. I'll steal this from your mate Daniel Jenks, who has just sent me these images from the Gateshead International Stadium. I don't know if you can see them properly. I don't even know why on earth I'm showing you these, but we will try it. Yeah, not a bad look. But anyways, let's go through some of the comments. Right, Kyle McNee, Jack Reed. So thanks very much. You two were the first ones on. Kyle says, I'm at the game. Come on, lads. Wow, you're at the game and you're listening to me at the same time watching me. That is dedication, my friend. Lee Greenwood sounds born. Callum sounds fine, mate. Sam, hello there. Glenn Watkin. Now, from the badge, I'm assuming he is a Coventry fan. Or at Sky Blue Hub. I'm guessing this is a Twitter account, Sky Blue Hub, because there is one there that does follow me, I believe. Let's have a look. So, thoughts on Sims? Good signing for Coventry. Sam, how much did Cov get for Sims for? Hit the bar 3 times. 3.5 million with add-ons up to 8 million based on appearances, goals, promotion. Yeah, well, for those of you who obviously probably don't know now, Ellis Sims is now no longer a target. Oh, Glenn, right? Okay, good, Glenn. I'm glad I got that correct, mate. If you're asking my opinion, I've made no secret of the fact I wanted Ellis Sims back. I think obviously, if you end up paying 8 million, then it's worth it because ultimately it means you've got to the Premier League, haven't you? So I think with Sims, look, except that he's not going to be Gyökeres because Gyökeres was easily the best forward I watched in the Championship, certainly playing against us last season. He obviously made his own chances, hold the ball up well, create his own spaces, drag people out of position, can score goals. He's almost as complete as a forward as you could get at this level. And obviously, it looks like he's going to Sporting. So, Glenn, correct me if I'm wrong, mate. Is he definitely going to Sporting? As that because I saw somewhere apparently the move fell through, then apparently it was back on again, then apparently it was agreed. So I don't know what the circumstances or what the crack is with that. But except that he's not Victor Gyökeres. But for me, I feel like a lot of people judge him on this perceived lack of ability as a footballer. And that's fine if people think that way, that's up to them. But in my opinion, his main job is scoring goals. And for me, he absolutely does that. He got 7 in 17 last year. And as I've said before, against Reading, went off after over half an hour, came on for 20 minutes against Luton, or Sporting for 20.5 million pounds. Okay. Came on for 20 minutes against Luton, came on for half time at Huddersfield, and came on with 15 minutes to go against Blackburn. So really, you're talking 7 goals in around about 14 appearances, which is basically 1 in 2. But there you have it. So personally, for me, for 3.5 to 5 million, I think he is worth that. I think if we give him the service, I think if you give him the service, he gets at least 15 to 20. I think he gets at least 15 goals, maybe 20 to be fair, depending on how well you play. But there you have it. We shall see. Oh, wow, we've got quite a few people coming in. Okay, then I'm going to have to quickly do this. Anthony Bauer's doing a watch along. I'm going to attempt to do a watch along, mate. I'm going to attempt it. I know you've done this before, so you will be more experts at it than I will be. Right, Hannah Brown, good friend Hannah Brown. Hope you're doing okay. She says, afternoon mush for Southern for mate. Well, Southampton. Well, thanks very much, Hannah, dear. Hope you're all right. And hopefully the weather in Southampton's a bit less crap than it is up here. Callum Garthwaite. What? And by the way, as always, guys, I'm terrible with pronunciations of names, so tell me if I'm wrong. What other kind of striker would you bring in, Michael? Well, to be honest, I'm going to be doing a video in the near future about 5 players I wanted Sunderland to sign. Now, it's kind of a spoiler, Ellis Sims was on that list. Now he's not on that list. So let's just say I'm going to wait and comment the strikers that I would personally want us to be signed. Well, and there's a goal-scoring one. Yeah, that would help, wouldn't it? But there's a few strikers I've got in mind who I would like Sunderland to go for. But we shall see how that plans out. But I'll safe to say you can mention in the video. There's going to be at least one striker that people might deem as unrealistic, but I think it shouldn't be if we're really wanting to aim to go up. Right, let's have a look. Shane Bates. All right, pal, what do you think the score will be against Gateshead? Oh, my score predictions are usually terrible. Let's think. Fine. 5-2 Sunderland, something like that, something random. Because for me, I also know what you guys think. For me, pre-season, this is just a bit of fun, really. You know, obviously, when Doug out football channel. Hey, Doug, by the way, Liverpool fan. Ciao, mate. How you doing? We need to get another live stream sorted fair between us because that last time's was fun. Now that my laptop is okay again. But yeah, I think with pre-season, it's just about. It's not about the results for me. I mean, obviously, you want to win. You want to get the players into the habit of winning games. But for me, it's about just fitness and it's about chemistry, team chemistry, and building partnerships and everything. One thing I will quickly mention actually is I'm glad Lahadji got an assist for Semedo's goal because I've championed the idea. I have championed the idea of Lahadji potentially being an Ahmad replacement, not necessarily being his quality level, but being someone who could maybe link with Roberts. But again, we'll have to wait and see. So I want to see what Lahadji's. I mean, obviously, I know Lahadji isn't playing against Gateshead, but I'd like to see him. Right, let's try and whiz through these because the game will start in just over 5 minutes. Tell you I'm disorganized. Right, Luke, SFC Man, what do you think of Newcastle? I can't comment without swearing. To be fair, if I take my Sunderland bias and my intense dislike or hatred of Newcastle out of it, I have to admit they are signing some good players, aren't they? Eddie Howe seems to have really sorted them out. And to be fair, of the times I've watched, because unfortunately I live with a Geordie, so it's a bit hard to avoid Newcastle, sadly. But I feel like when I've watched them, they do look a good side. They've got the quality, but they also have the desire. Put it this way, like I've said, I think I said in last week's live stream Q&A that I want Sunderland eventually to be a side that's regularly challenging for Europe in the Premier League if Newcastle can be where they are. I know a lot of it is down to money, but Sunderland as a club should be able to attract that sort of money. Or at least a really good level where we can compete regularly. Right, Samuel McNeil, let's have a look. Sorry, guys, I promise I will get through the comments. Samuel McNeil, hello, mate, Bournemouth fan. Hello, Samuel, how are you doing, mate? See if you can send anyone our way who is good enough for the championship. Go on. Maybe Solanke on loan. Right, and the Macam POJ, okay. I'm useless to what that means, and please correct me. Cameron QWERTY. What do you think about Hartlepool United? Well, I've been to Victoria Park. Is it still called Victoria Park, or is it called the Hot Suit Direct Stadium now? I can't remember. But either way, I went to a couple of games last year. I think I went when they played Gillingham because I wanted to see what Gillingham was like as well. But 0-0 draw, which is a bit dead in the rubber. Then what was the second game? Harrogate in the FA Cup second round when they won 3-1. And then the last one was a 1-1 draw at Leyton Orient. To be fair, it's a shame, really. I didn't want them to get relegated. I genuinely thought for a while that Hartlepool would stay up, and I really, really wanted them to. But there you go. Do you like Hartlepool United because we are playing Sunderland very soon? Yeah, I've got out against Hartlepool. I quite like them. I do hope he's go back up from the National League because it's a bit of a shame that he's went up to the National League and then in 2 years he basically let it go to ruin. But so fingers crossed you get back up this season or this coming season. And the Mountain Goals going on, yeah. Hannah, tropical down here. This means nothing. It's about game time, about settling the team, etc. Yeah, exactly. Of course, you want to win, but the main thing is like settling the team down and getting some systems. And if you're looking for sorting out lack of sharpness or lack of fitness or lack of team cohesion, then this is the time to sort it out rather than during the season if you can avoid it. Hey, Tane is back, to quote Terry. You all right, mate? Yep, I'm fine. Let's have a look. Samuel McNeil, haha. Solanke is a good player, mate. Hold up play is a bit questionable, but overall he's a decent player. Yeah, well, like I said, I think we need to try and maybe, I don't know. Maybe, what's the one looking for? Antoine Semenyo on loan? I don't know. Karen Qwerty, how can I watch it? Right, thanks. Hang on. Right, bear with me a minute, mate. I'll post the link again. There you go. Click that link I've just put in the chat. That takes you directly to the page where there should be, obviously, a little screen. Click the play icon, and you should be able to watch the match. And again, thankfully, it's free of charge. So for once, the club's done something good commercially. Viv73, thanks for doing the stream. No problem. I was debating whether or not to do it. I was really in two minds about whether we were going to do it, I was going to do it or not. But I thought, you know what? Screw it. Let's have a laugh. And even if it turns out completely terribly, then at least you don't have to watch us do it again. Right, Thane, let's get through some of the comments he said. The jury's still out on the how do you mean because he had a very mixed game. At times he was decent, particularly before half time and the start of the second half, but there's a lot he needs to improve on. Yeah, fair enough. But at least you haven't written him off, which I saw one person on Twitter do, which was baffling. Again, their own opinion, but for me, I just didn't get it. Right, there's a lot he needs to improve on. Before I go, I just want to quickly say Crompton lad at started his centre back was outstanding. Really like the look of him. Right, well, I'll quickly. Kiefer Moore, Sam Surge on loan should be considered by the club. Let's just say one of those names might be one of my options for in my 5 players I want us to sign video. But wait, let's quickly go through Sunderland's team. Martin Gibson, how are the lads from Turkey? Mental. Fair play for watching, mate. Right, Sunderland's team to play Gateshead is Alex Bass, Trey Hume, Dan Ballard, Joe Anderson. I think it's Zach Johnson, but I could be wrong. Niall Huggins, Dan Neal, Job Bellingham, Patrick Roberts, Joseph Bennett, and Alex Pritchard. Subs we have, and I'm not going to know half of these names. Fieldson, Wilson, Bainbridge, Burke, Bell, Thompson, Sakete, I think, Spellman, Joe. Hang on. Didn't Spellman play against Shields? So he's just pretty much got the Metro probably up to Gateshead or driven. Jones, Robertson. Oh my God, I'm going to pronounce these names wrong. Tuterov? I don't know how you pronounce that. Chayabi? Oh, see, I told you, I'm terrible at pronouncing names. Thanks, Thane, for confirming it's Zach Johnson. Whitaker, not Morgan Whitaker, and Waters. Okay, now bear in mind, I'm not going to know any of the sub names, but there you go. We shall try our best. Right, obviously, Danny Bart, as you've probably seen, guys, is not playing, so he's presumably still injured or one way or another is unavailable. In fact, let's quickly talk about that. Let's quickly talk about the story that broke. Quickly talk about it before the game starts, because I think the players will be coming out any minute. The story broke out not long ago, apparently, I think it was from Michael Graham on Sci.com, I think it was. Apparently, after I think if I've read this right, after their current contracts, you had Alex Pritchard, I guess Alex Bass there, Alex Pritchard, Lyndon Gooch, and Danny Bart apparently could be allowed to leave if a good option came up for them. Now, quite a few people, and I must admit, I myself interpreted that as we're selling them this window. Which, now I'm not going to lie, I want to keep all 3 of them. I don't really want to let any of them go because as much as I do believe there we go, the players coming out and they're wearing the away kit. Looks all right. It looks better, actually. Pritchard's wearing the number 9 shirt. Who'd have thought? But yeah, for me, right, I think I'm someone who gets sick and tired when people say Lack of experience, lack of experience. We don't have enough experience. However, I must admit, if you let Bailey Wright go and Bart and Pritchard and Gooch go, then for me, that's a big ask. You're then removing a hell of a lot of experience to get youngsters through. And I don't mind, and I think we've got more experience than people admit to. But admittedly, letting all three of them go, I think would be quite poor. For me, I think at the end of their contracts, I wouldn't be against letting any of them go because we might have progressed to a point where we're above all three of them. Me personally, I believe Bart should be kept out the most out of the three of them. I think Pritchard can still contribute something off the bench. I really do. I think, and we're going to need a squad, not just a starting 11. And I think Gooch as well. I mean, if you look at Gooch's main position for me now is a right back. I don't know whether he still considers himself a forward, but in my own opinion, I think he should be considered a right back now. And I feel like he should be second choice to Hume or competing with Hume for starting spot and let Niall Huggins go out on loan because Huggins, unfortunately, his fitness hasn't been reliable. Hopefully, he gets through this game okay. But there you go. So it's an interesting one, but we'll wait and see what happens across the summer or the rest of the window. Dean SFC says, would keep Danny for his experience. Yep, I would as well, mate. Completely agree. Especially now as we'll let Bailey Wright go as well. Anth says, conceding 3 against Shields proves to me defensively we have so much to fix at the back. Yeah, you could say that. But I suppose, again, it's lack of sharpness, isn't it? There's still a long way to go. But yeah, I'm not too bothered about it in pre-season. We just need to make sure we tighten up defense. That's the one thing. As much as I like Tony Mowbray's style of football, the one thing I would really like to see is us tighten up a bit defensively and keep more clean sheets. But you guys know me by now. Bristolian Mackham, love the show, Michael. Thank you very much, mate. Jack Reed, how are the lads? Okay, then. Right. So we are just about to kick off. They're just doing the coin toss to determine who kicks off first. I'm not going to do a typical. If you guys remember, when I was at SCFC Fan TV, I did commentaries often with. I think at first I did it with Sean and probably Conrad for a bit. Then I did it with Dino and Jack on camera, and I enjoyed that. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not going to do full on commentary like I did there. I think it's just going to be a little bit. It's just more of a kind of a relaxed sort of chat, really. So that's the whole point. I mean, obviously, I think 8 people have clicked off here, so that's probably why. We shall see. Paul Graham, hi, Michael. Great show as per, mate. Right, go on. Let's get your predictions in. What are your predictions for this game? Gateshead versus Sunderland. Let's see how, like I said, mine's just going to be a random 5-2. Just something stupid. But like I said, I mean, it would have been nice to have been there. And this probably would have been the game out of the two of them I would have probably picked to go to. But you know what? It doesn't really matter. Let's see, right, we've won kickoff and we are kicking from left to right. Pritchard, of course, is standing over the ball in the middle of the centre circle. We're just waiting for the referee to blow the whistle. Obviously, I have not got any sound on because we know what copyright's like these days. You could literally get anything. 4-0 from Viv. Wow, okay, fair enough. Confident, safe to say. Although I went for a 7-goal thriller, so there you go. Right, we have kicked off. I think that's Patrick Roberts. Now, this is the thing. Without the numbers on the back, sometimes it's hard for me to determine who's what number. Mad Mistake. Just come up on my computer. Mad Mistake is live as well. So obviously, guys, if you're bored of me, go and click over to Mad Mistake. He's a really, really good YouTuber, and he knows what he's doing. He's done constant live streams. And probably unlike me, he's mental enough to get the attention. And believe it, I mean mental in a good way. He's mental enough to keep you hooked and entertained for 2 and a bit hours. Right, so we have got the ball at the back or around the back. So we're just trying to pass it around, really. There you go. Alex Bass has got the ball. He's being pressed by a Gateshead man. Hoofs it upfield. Yeah, you can tell here we don't really have the focal point that what I imagine Hamir would. There you go. Should I put Terry's live stream on at the same time? Hang on. Oh, there we go. Terry's on. Hume there. Oh, God. Well, fair enough. Yeah, that's going to distract us. But fair play. If you don't want to watch me, then go and watch Terry. Honestly, he's a really good lad. Right, there's a throw in on the touchline near the halfway line, which we have taken quickly. Patrick Roberts has got the ball towards the halfway line. He's going to switch the play. Looks like he's going to. There you go. See, again, from here, because the screen I've got is a little bit smaller for the game, so it's a bit difficult for me to determine. Hang on, let's try see if I can zoom in a little bit. Just bear with me a minute, guys. Sexy RV concession at the back using our reserves at Shields team doesn't sound like much of a problem. They were just kids having fun. Well, ultimately, like we said again, I think Hannah said it earlier. These games are just about fitness. They're not really about like the overall results. That starts on like August the 6th when we're obviously playing in competitive league games. Spare me a moment. There we go. That might be a little bit better so I can actually see what the hell I'm doing. Tom Oxman, great to see him here at the mark already. Even if it was only against South Shields, it will help Bill's confidence. I completely agree. I remember when we just signed Will Grigg, and by the way, I still am adamant he should have been a good signing. But I was when we had Will Grigg, and he kept missing those early chances. It followed a similar pattern where a Sunderland striker doesn't score early doors and then struggles for confidence throughout the rest of their time here. So although it's pre-season, hopefully Hamir gets confidence. From the bits I have seen of him, we will see. Sexy Harvey, what are you watching the match on? I think I'm just going to keep putting this in here repeatedly, but there you go. There you go, Harvey, mate. I'm assuming Harvey's your name, but there you go. Click that link and you should be able to find the game. Hang on. Patrick Roberts is running through here in the penalty box. He's still got the ball. He's still got it. He's surrounded by loads of Shields. Loads of Shields. Gateshead players. Oh, scramble. Gateshead, clear it away. Obviously, my stream. No worries, mate. No worries, Harvey. Right, Sunderland have the ball. We've got it back. Gateshead are going to get back into shape here, I'd imagine. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is Mike Williamson still in charge of Gateshead? I think he is, but I could be wrong. There's Joe Bellingham. Unfortunately, he lost the ball, but Michelle will scramble to try and get it back. Right, number 17 for Gateshead passes it back towards their centre back. So we're just going to sort of pass it around the back because there's not really any Sunderland pressure at the minute. There's Joseph Bennett and Alex Pritchard trying to force them into an error, but they managed to get out of it. And we're headed, and so we've managed to get the ball back, I think. Yes, we have. Back into our own half, we have the ball, passing it back towards Dan Ballard. I think he's going to try and find, looks like that's Zach Johnson, who's number 6. I've number 4, Dan Neal, I think. He's just passing it around, back towards Dan Ballard, towards Gateshead, right, our left-hand side in our own half. Dan Neal on the ball is under a bit of pressure, manages to turn his man, passes it back to Dan Ballard. Down towards what looks like number 6, who I believe is Zach Johnson. No, he's not going to pass it towards him. He's got the ball a little bit longer. And he's passing it back out wide to, actually, I need to check the team again. Told you I'm disorganized. Terry will be much more so than I will be. Right, Joe. Here we go. Right. So we got, Human Huggins. There you go. Told you I'm useless. Right. Got the ball. Joe Bellingham. Patrick Roberts passes it back towards Zach Johnson, who passes it back to Alex Bass. Going to get the ball back towards Zach Johnson. Yeah, there we go. See, I'm not surprised if you people have clicked off. I'm not great with commentary, but there you go. Hang on, let's have a look. Right, Zach Johnson got the ball. Right, Alex Bass. Going to kick it upfield? No, he's not. He's going to pass it. But it was Joe Bellingham, his typical number 7 shirt. Anthony Magnus is going to hear a few fans. I can hear a few fans chanting "Toon Army upset." Yeah, honestly, Anthony, it's ridiculous, mate. It really is. Absolutely ridiculous. They claim we're not a big club, but then they keep mentioning us every 5 minutes or go to our games, which is just bizarre. Really. Anyway, down the wing, Joseph Bennett down the left-hand side. He's got a bit of pace. He's put the ball in the box and looks like it's deflected out for a corner. Has it? No, it is a goal kick. I couldn't quite tell from this camera angle. But yeah, so far, Gateshead 0, Sunderland 0. We are, nearly 5 minutes gone into the game. Let's see if there's any comments that I have missed. Tom Hogg said, well, it's Gateshead, isn't there? There'll be a few sad mags there, unfortunately. Yeah, very true. Gateshead's pretty much on the doorstep of Newcastle, isn't it? Oh, dear me. Yeah, I wish I could turn the sound on, but I can't. Right, okay then. Gateshead have the ball, halfway line. Running through with it. No, their number 8 passes it back towards their back line. Now they've got the ball amidst pressure from Alex Pritchard. Anthony Ackerman, their keeper kit clashes with our kit. Like they've not got something, have they not got something that isn't pink? Not quite by the looks of it. Patrick Roberts, right-hand side. It's been deflected. It's been kicked out for a throw-in to who I believe will be Gateshead. Just to let you guys know in advance, I have the 2 dogs with me. So if you hear barking, that's why, obviously. They tend to bark at anything when anyone comes at the door. Or, one of them just sort of does a little passive-aggressive growl and then starts barking if people are in the street. Whoop, there we go. Patrick Roberts. Patrick Roberts has the ball. He's trying to beat his man, trying to pass to Joe Bellingham, but it's intercepted. But we have it back. Niall Huggins. I think that's Niall Huggins anyway. Pass it back to Zach Johnson, who's going to pass it back towards Alex Bass. Dan Ballard's on Bass's left-hand side. Zach Johnson to his right, but he passes it through towards who I believe is Niall Huggins. Niall Huggins passes it back towards Zach Johnson, who's got the ball just outside the own penalty area. Pass back towards Dan Ballard, towards Trey Hume. Steve Watts, hi, Michael. You absolute stunning man. Thanks very much, Stevie. Plymouth Argyle fan, guys, for those of you who do not know who Stevie Watts is. So Stevie, how do you feel about the new season, mate? Obviously, I mean, Plymouth, I think I've got a couple of bits of business done. But yeah, just let us know what you think. Right, Sunderland still got the ball. Back towards Trey Hume. I think that's Trey Hume anyway. Trey Hume. Dan Ballard. Nobody really pressuring him, though, from Gateshead's perspective. Come on. See if we can try and get something going here. Dan Ballard back towards Alex Bass, who's going to probably pass it back towards Dan Ballard, I think, or Zach Johnson, one of the two. Who's the number 2 there? Try to think who number 2 is. Hang on. Who's in midfield? Neil Bellingham. Hang on, Neil Bellingham. It must be like a 5-2-3-2 or something. 5-2-3 or something, or 3-4-3. That's what I suspect the system is. Paul Graham, is Pato with the under-21s? No, I believe Pato started against Shields, mate. But I could be wrong on that one. Right, Gateshead. Lump the ball forward. Looks like it's just going to go. Yeah, it's going to go straight out of play for a goal kick. Yeah, so far nothing's really happened, apart from maybe the one scramble in the first 5 minutes where Gateshead got it clear at the last moment. But hasn't really much has occurred so far. Dan Ballard's got the ball. It's a Gateshead man trying to pressure him. There you go, Dan Neal looking for Trey Hume, and he finds him. Trey Hume back to. Oh, is that Joe Anderson actually? See again, I'm terrible. Dan Ballard running with the ball. Is he going to try and lump it upfield? Nope. He's going to pass it towards Zach Johnson. Zach Johnson passes it to Joe Bellingham. Amidst a bit of pressure, he passes it back to Zach Johnson. Zach Johnson's looking for Alex Bass. Dogs just spotted a fly. Joe Bellingham, Joe Bellingham from deep's got the ball. Pass towards Alex Pritchard. Here we go. This is a little bit better. Alex Pritchard running towards the centre. He's trying to look for options, and I think he finds Niall Huggins on his right-hand side, who passes it back towards Patrick Roberts. Zach Johnson, Patrick Roberts, looking for options. Zach Johnson again, trying to pass towards. There you go. Alex Bass has got the ball. Dan Ballard, just coming outside the penalty area, down towards the left-hand side. There you go. He's passed it through towards, I believe that is, trying to think who that is. No, it's not Daniel. That must be Trey Hume. Okay. All right, Dan Ballard. Seem to be playing a lot around the back at the moment. I wonder, I'll be interested to see what Tony Mowbray would have done. Jackery, good luck good luck next season, Stevie. Yeah, fair enough. Apart from the 2 games against Sunderland, obviously, good luck for the season, Plymouth. Zach Johnson. Bit of pressure on here from Gateshead. Back to Alex Bass in the penalty area. Gets it upfield. Yeah, obviously we're not going to have a focal point here, are we? At least the players at Shields had Hamir to play off. All right, Gateshead got the ball. Joe Bellingham tried to win the ball back, wasn't successful. Beastie Boy, I love that name. Hi, Michael. Hello, mate. How are you doing? Hopefully you're doing okay. And I've got Sky Sports on mute in the background. There's Joe Wilson, I believe, and it's got Lee Hendry's there. Lee Hendry, predictors finished top 2, mate, because you predicted top 6 last season, and you ended up getting that right. Right, upfield. Back, there you go. So that is Joe Anderson, I believe. They all look so similar from a distance. Right, Bennett, back towards who I believe is Joe Anderson, back to Dan Ballard. He's going to lump it up the pitch. Is it going to be a free kick to Sunderland? Looks like there is. Yep, the referee has awarded a Sunderland free kick within the first 10 minutes. Stevie says, hi, thanks, Jack. Me and Michael talk a lot about the socials. We always have a lot of time for Sunderland. Yeah, no, it's amazingly. Thank you very much for that. You do seem to have a lot of time for Sunderland. Let's check to see if anything's happening on the old Twitter while I'm waiting to see what I'm waiting for anything to happen. No wonder the Gateshead team's got 2 trialists in it. I'm not going to even know half of these names. Yeah, Giles, he's put up a video about the match vlog from Shields. Fair enough. So go check out Jalsey and Steve. Probably the most hilarious duo on Sunderland YouTube. It's really funny. Both of them really complement each other well. Right. Anyway, back to the game. So we have Trey Hume or Joe Anderson, whichever one's lumping the ball forward, back towards the Gateshead keeper, Alex Pritchard, of course. Oh, yeah, mate. Sorry, everyone. Yeah, that's how interesting the game's been so far. Yeah, Alex Pritchard was never going to win the lump ball forward. Now Gateshead have got the ball down towards the halfway line. Number 3 for Gateshead passes it backwards to the player who then launches it forwards, and it's back to Alex Bass. Yeah, this is just a pretty much standard pre-season friendly at the moment because these guys obviously won't have as much match sharpness. Beasley Boys, score predictions. I think 4-3 again. I've just said 5-2 just to be different, mate. Is Patrick Roberts going to keep hold of that? Doesn't look like he is, and it is a free kick to Gateshead. 11 minutes gone. Gateshead 0, Sunderland 0. Let's check old Terry and see what he's getting up to. Let's see. Thankfully, we can play the audio from Mad Mistake because we don't get copyrighted, I think. There we go, right. Okay, then, number 6 years on. Right, number 19 for Gateshead. He's just passing it through. Gateshead have a chance in the penalty box. They could get a shot away here. And thankfully, we have managed to deal with it. It looks like we're going to come out with the ball. Yep, number 3, who I believe is Joe Anderson now. I think I can see a bit more clearly. Joe Anderson passed it back towards Dan Ballard. There's not really any options in front of him, though. Come on, someone give him an option to aim for. Dan Ballard's got the ball. It's just kind of a bit of keep ball at the moment. Nothing's really going on. Right, back to Alex Bass. No Gateshead players pressuring him at all. Dan Ballard trying to come out with the ball. Back to Joe Anderson. Number 8, who I believe that might be Trey Hume, has tried to come deep. But the ball gets back to Dan Ballard again. I feel like I've said that about 20 times. Dan Ballard. Alex Bass. Zach Johnson. Back towards Patrick Roberts. Is he going to try and get his man? No, he's not. But he's managed to win Sunderland a throw in. 12 and a half minutes gone. 0-0. As I said, guys, yeah, Mad Mistake is on at the same time as I am. So if you think I'm not as interesting, which I don't blame you for, to be fair, then Terry is funnier. He's mental. He's more interesting. But there you go. Thank you for those who are sticking over. Right, Dan Neal has got Anderson trying to pass it to not Joe Bennett. Jewison Bennett, but has been intercepted for a Sunderland throw, which Joe Anderson has taken. Right, back to Dan Ballard again. I remember, was it for a quick funny one? When I was at Fan TV, when we did the commentaries, Conrad Lee, obviously a brilliant editor, he's a lovely lad, was saying back to Bailey Wright as a common phrase. And I think mine's just Dan Ballard has the ball. And speaking of Dan Ballard, he has it again, passing it back towards Alex Bass. Is he going to do anything? Passes it to Zach Johnson again. A lot of the possession's been in our own half. We haven't really been able to get in behind Gateshead too many times. Back to Roberts. Now to Dan Neal. Through to Pritchard. Oh, have we managed to keep hold of that? Is that not a free kick, surely? Oh, it is. Okay, Alex Pritchard's won a free kick in the centre circle. In the centre circle. Let me know. Who's watching the game then? Is anyone watching the game while listening to me at the same time? Right, Alex Pritchard's going to be standing over this more than likely. Yep, he's passed it back to Dan Ballard. Guess who? Dan Ballard. Dan Neal. Zach Johnson once again. Joe Bellingham. Back to number 2. I believe that might be Trey Hume. Yeah, Joe Anderson. Again, correct me if I'm getting in the numbers and names wrong, guys. Please do, because I want to be right about these things. Pritchard tried to pass to Jewison Bennett, but Gateshead clear it, and it's going to be Zach Johnson who passes it, presumably back to... Oh, no, Alex Bass has got the ball. We're nearly playing into trouble here. Right, Dan Ballard's bringing the ball out of defence. Passes it back to Patrick Roberts, I believe. Pritchard. But the ball's been nicked off, but the ball's kind of bounced off him. Now it's back with the Gateshead goalkeeper, who I believe is one of their trialists, actually. Pritchard's already got his hands on his knees. Has he took a knock? Hopefully not, because the last thing we need... The big thing last year, we got barely any luck with injuries, and the last thing we need is more injuries. Absolutely the last thing we need is more injuries. Right, come on, Gateshead have the ball. Sunderland trying to pressure, but they managed to get themselves around it. Come on. Anything happening here? Oh, Gateshead might have touched in the penalty area too long. Nope, they've gotten rid of it. Joe Bellingham's trying to pressure the keeper. They've now got it down the byline. Gateshead managed to play out of it again. Playing some all right football here, Gateshead. Back towards their back line. Lump it forward. Gateshead still managed to keep the ball, which is pretty impressive. Number 21 for Gateshead's a bit of a beast, isn't he? He's got a bit of height. And Gateshead have now since won a free kick, which they have taken quickly. Gateshead running through down the left-hand byline, more towards the centre now. The Sunderland players around them, but they're not getting rid of it. There you go. Bass has managed to get the ball, and it is a goal kick. Tom Ogson, love the home kit, still not showing the away kit, and for once, it will be nice to see a stitched badge rather than a sticker. Yeah, now that's something I agree with, actually, Tom. That's something that really does annoy me when we've literally just... I think it was ever since the lockdown season 3 years ago, we've basically just stuck the badge on like that, and that's it. Like, come on, at least make a bit of an effort to make the kit not look so cheap. For what it's worth, for the kits, I actually like both of them. I'm usually some... Yeah, Gabe Easy Boy, there you go. Exactly. I think he's agreeing with Tom, saying completely agree, especially 55 quid, which is a lot of money, by the way. One thing I must admit, 55 quid, I kind of expected that to be adult price, but apparently it's 45 quid for kids, which is a lot, that's a hell of a lot of money. Right, Gateshead again. Say it again. I'm just trying to think of anything to talk about other than the game. Number 17 for Gateshead, back towards the back line. Joe Bellingham's trying to press, but they get out of it. Or do they? No, number 3's passing it back to the keeper, who's going to launch us upfield, I would imagine. No, he's not. He's played it out. Carl Stewart. Hello, Carl, mate. You all right? Right, free kick to Gateshead. which I think is going to take a while. But yeah, as I was saying, no, I think the kits just look really, really cheap. If you're going to just stick the sticker on like that, it's so lazy. And this comes back to the point I'm making that when it comes to whether it's Steve Davis and Carl's just said there, stocking for the stick on me, crap. Not sure, yeah, not bad me. Yeah, look, for me, I just think it's just lazy. For a club the size of Sunderland, and I've said it before, and I agree, we are one of the biggest clubs in the country. Hang on, Pritchard's in the penalty area, he's going to have a shot. Oh, now is that saved or not? Okay, in which case it's a miss from Pritchard. I think Gateshead must admit, let's have the players back again. Yeah, number 6, I believe that was Zach Johnson, won the ball, and the touch from winning the ball falls towards Alex Pritchard, who shoots wide inside the box. But yeah, I feel like the sticker on the badge just looks cheap. Club size Sunderland, and I've said before, we are one of the biggest clubs in the country. There's only really probably 8, 9 clubs that are bigger than us in the country, I think. And we need to start acting like it. And, not having a stitched on badge is just tin pot. It's just tin pot. So I don't know whether it's because of a current deal we had with Nike or whatever it is, but for some, it does annoy me a little bit. I know that might seem like a trivial thing, but the fact of the matter is, off the pitch, we've been ran poorly for so long. And I'm talking commercial side of things. And really, considering how well we've done on the pitch, off it, we need to improve and get much better. Anyway, try and get back to the game. Dan Neal, under a little bit of pressure, but passes it back to Dan Ballard. He's got Joe Anderson on his left-hand side, Jack Johnson to his right, but he passes it centrally towards, or I believe that might be Trey Hume. Jewison Bennett has come deeper to receive the ball. He's just done a Cruyff turn. Lovely. Jewison Bennett, back to Dan Neal. Daniel's going to switch the play towards Zach Johnson on our right-hand side. Patrick Roberts comes to receive. Yeah, it does look like a 3-4-3. It doesn't. Patrick Roberts has just lost the ball, though. Gateshead could be in here. Is it going to be a shot for Gateshead? Kind of could do with a goal here, just to have something happen. Alex Bass clears it. Looks like it's going to be going towards Joe Bellingham, I think. No, Jewison Bennett. Sorry, my mistake. See again, cannot do it really. Back towards the Gateshead keeper. Alex Pritchard's not able to put. Yeah, it looks like Alex Pritchard's playing up front. Ends in number 9 shirt. Number 3 for Gateshead has the ball. Patrick Roberts and Pritchard are trying to press them into the penalty area, but there's nothing. Again, the press isn't really on. It's just a bit laboured at the moment. Now, by the way, this isn't me complaining about it. It's sharpness. It'll be this is completely what pre-season's for. Pass the ball through. Right, Gateshead have got a chance. Gateshead kind of got a chance down the right-hand side. It's up against Dan Neal. Gateshead still got it. Switch the play towards the left-hand side. Number 17 for Gateshead. He's going to have a shot here. He's going to have a strike. Is it deflected? And it's in! Gateshead are in front. Well, we finally had something happen at least. There you go. Beasley Boy finally allows some match at the South Shields game just for Chris Wigg to score the winner. OFFS. Yeah, that was quite funny. Yeah, anyway. Gateshead 1, Sunderland 0. Let's see out of respect if I can find who the goal scorer was. What was the name? Right. Come on. Where's the thing from Gates? Actually, hang on. Joe Nicholson from the Sunderland Echoes covering the game, so he'll be able to say. Game underway. Goal Gateshead. Pane. P-A-N-E. Cuts inside of Hume from the left. The winger's shot took a deflection and drifted over Bass into the top corner. 1-0. There we go. Right. Well, yeah, something's finally happened. We're 1-0 down. So there you go. Right. Next one. So Matty says 1-0. Yep. Luke Chapman, Northampton Town fan. Hello, mate. All right. How's Lee Burge getting on these days? Is he still with you? Because I was of the opinion I thought Lee Burge wasn't a bad keeper for League One, but there you go. Brenton Mitch. Hi, Michael. All the way from Australia, I think? I don't know. Again, my geography's terrible. I don't know much about which flags resemble who. Anyway, Patrick Roberts down the left-hand side. No, it's not Patrick Roberts. It's Trey Hume. My mistake. Alex Pritchard trying to run down the left byline. Passes it to Jewison Bennett. And it's been deflected out for a Gateshead throw-in. Carrie, mate, read the comment I put, lol. Brandon Mitch, correct, Michael, well done. Yeah, thank you very much. Fag Undies, Vamos, Sunderland. God says it's shot. Carl, which comment are you referring to? Because I think I've read all your comments. Shocking, mate, for the cheap badge. Crap, mate. Yeah, not bad. Fair enough. Gateshead still have the ball, and it's going to be out for a Gateshead throw-in. So for those of you who have just literally joined, it is Gateshead 1, Sunderland 0. Gateshead are going to take this throw-in basically as quickly as anything. So yeah, there guys, 21 and a half minutes gone. We are losing 1-0. As I said, I'm not. If we lose the game, I'm not too fussed. It's all about fitness and everything. But obviously, you want to give a good account of yourselves, don't you? But we went 1-0 down against South Shields. Look what happened. Carl Stewart, you out later, mate. No, I'm not. No, I am not. Oh, bad mistake that. I think it might be from Patrick Roberts. It could be 2-0 to Gateshead here. It is. It's 2-0. Oh, what a mistake. Oh, I think it was Patrick Roberts near the halfway line who gave the ball away. But to be fair, as Beasties just said, that was a cracking goal, whoever scored that. Wish they'd have the numbers. Wish they'd have the names on the back of the shirts. Yeah, it's 2-0 to Gateshead. Wow. I need to see this again. Right. So I think that was Niall Huggins who took the throw in towards the halfway line. Yep, Patrick Roberts tries to be clever with it, I think. And then it looks like it. Yep, and then the goal. And then whoever scored the goal, great finish, 2-0. Matt East is 2-0. Yep, I can see, mate. It is 2-0. Like I said, if we lose, I'm not too fussed about it. But it's typical the game I pick and we're 2-0 down. But there you go. That was a bad mistake. Yeah, Ant says nobody's caring about. Yeah, exactly. I don't care if we lose the game, really. From a professional perspective, the players will care, I'm sure. But from a fan's point of view, I don't care. I'd much rather have a rubbish preseason and go up from the championship. So fingers crossed anyway. And yeah, I've just seen Anthony Mack and Roberts gave the ball away and stood still. Yeah, it was a bit careless, wasn't it? Lump ball forward, and Gateshead have got the ball. Well, looks like I made the right call not to go to the game. So far, anyway. 23 minutes gone. Gateshead 2, Sunderland 0. Jack Reed was a nice finish. I agree. See who the player was. So it was Panny who scored the first one. Who got the second? Roberts gives the goal gate. This is Joel Nicholson from the Sunderland Echo. Goal Gateshead. Roberts gives the ball away, and Campbell curls a shot into the top corner from the edge of the Sunderland box. 2-0. Yeah, fair enough for Campbell then. Hang on. Yeah, to be fair, Bass couldn't have done much about that, I think. That was just literally a great strike. Right, Alex, speaking of Alex, Bassey has got the ball. Now it's back out towards Joe Anderson. Dan Ballard. Again, it's not with any pressure on him. Dan Ballard keeping hold of the ball. There's nobody really making an option in front of him. Alex Bass again. Back to Dan Ballard. Bit of pressure going there. Looks like we've managed to get away from it. Scott clear a little bit. Trey Hume, I believe, who's just come for the ball. Yep. Back to Dan Ballard. Luke, Sunderland win, brother. Well, it'd be nice to win, but again, I'm just not bothered if we don't for pre-season. Alex Pritchard, left-hand side. But he's got two Gateshead players around him in the immediate vicinity. Now Jewison Bennett had the ball. Now he's with Patrick Roberts, who's lost the ball. But Joe Bellingham's won the ball back before losing it again. Right, Gateshead could now break here. Gateshead down the left-hand side, Sunderland's left, just past the halfway line. They try to do a through ball here. This Gateshead player could be in here, but for a late challenge, for a tackle from number 3, Joe Anderson. Throw into Gateshead, nearly 25 minutes gone. So yeah, Gateshead 2, Sunderland 0. So it's basically Sunderland are 2-0 down through a deflected effort, and to be fair, it has to be said, an absolute wonder strike. So Panny got deflected effort for the first goal, and Campbell wonder strike for the second after a mistake from Patrick Roberts, who gave the ball away in our own half. Gateshead have the throw in, throwing it out near towards the centre, close-ish towards the centre circle. Got the ball, just waiting to see if anyone's going to press him. Beastie Boy, I think Anderson should go on loan. I'd imagine he will do. I think Tony Mowbray even mentioned that at the back end of last season, that it looks like that's a deal. Will look like we're going to try and get him out on loan to get experience. Are Sunderland going to win a free kick here? It looks, yep, they have done. Sunderland have a free kick on the halfway line. See if we can get back into the game. But yeah, with Joe Anderson, I completely agree with that. I think maybe a loan to like a League One level club, I think would probably do him the world of good. I think just to get a bit of physicality and get some more fitness about him. And we'll see how that ends up progressing for him, I suppose. Joe Anderson, Dan Neil, back to Dan Ballard. There's a challenge for you. If anyone's drinking, have a shot every time I say that. Dan Ballard towards Trey Hume. Joe Anderson was on the right hand side. No, Joe Anderson passes it back towards Niall Huggins. Niall Huggins tried to pass it towards Joe Bellingham. We've got the ball back. We actually ended up winning a free kick for some reason, which I don't know why, but we will take it. We can see what happens. Niall Huggins passes the ball to Dan Ballard, who's going to take the free kick any moment, but there's a Gateshead player down. Oh, yeah. Sorry about this, guys. Dean SCFC will test resilience of the squad. Cold Pep Liquid. Yeah. I'll take a sip of Heineken whenever you mention Mowbray or Ballard. Well, funny enough, I haven't mentioned Mowbray yet, apart from that little moment just a second ago. But yeah, feel free. Make some fun out of it. Try a drinking game. Yeah, nothing's going to happen. It's 26 and just over 26 and a half minutes gone. 2-0 to Gateshead. So there's nothing really that's going to happen at the moment. So let's see if there's anything on Twitter. Let's see if there's anyone reacting to this. The Heat 2-0, second for Gateshead. Let's have a look at this goal again. Second goal for Gateshead. Oh, Sunderland took it. Hang on. Goal Gateshead. Yep, came literally from a Patrick Roberts passing mistake. And Campbell goes and scores. Sorry, guys, this probably isn't the most interesting commentary, but there's literally nothing to talk about. It's Sunderland had a half effort or two, but nothing. But to be fair, nothing. I don't know. Nothing. There's nothing really that's happened from a Sunderland point of view, except Joe Bellingham has the ball now. Now it is to, I believe it was Niall Huggins, back to Dan Neil. Joseph Bennett's on the left-hand side. I'm assuming he's going to pass to him. Yes, he is. Joseph Bennett. Well, then, see what's going to happen here. He'll try and take on his man. Ball into the box. It's gone way over everybody, but it's gone out to Patrick Roberts on the right byline. He's got into the box. He's going to take on his man. Is he going to have a shot or is he going to cross it? He's going to pass it to Joe Bellingham. Shot that has been blocked and Gateshead clear it. Sunderland have the ball back. Zach Johnson looking for men in front of him. Right, Patrick Roberts on the right-hand side's got the ball now. Can he keep it in? Yes, he can. Now, is he going to try? He's going to try and take on his man. He's got two men on him. Gateshead managed to intercept him, and it's gone out for a Sunderland throw-in. Matty, Jack Clark off to Burnley. Right, I'm assuming this might be a Geordie trying for some bites here. If I've insulted you, Matty, then feel free to tell me. But I suspect it's someone who could be a one to wind up. If he is, then I'm fair enough. Jack Clark off to Burnley. Could be. We don't know. Depends on the bid. Beastie Boy, can we have this ref every game? He's actually giving us stuff. And I'll have this ref and we're 2-0 down. But I know what you mean. Steve Flounders, hello, mate. How are you doing? Gateshead are going to have a free kick, I think, are they? No, they're not. Niall Huggins is coming out of defence with the ball. He goes down, and Sunderland have a free kick. Right, nearly 29 minutes gone. But yeah. Right, Cole. Ballard has got the ball now. There you go. There's a shot. There's a drink for you. Take a sip. See how drunk you're going to be by the end of the stream. Oh, my laptop's fully charged. Right, there we go. The Gateshead player down on the ground. I'll just keep... There you go, Cole. Lol. Hang on. I will reiterate. Just keep putting it in every few minutes. For those of you who are wondering how I'm watching the game, I've just put in the chat again. There is the link to the page that has the stream on. Although, if you want to watch it when we're 2-0 down. Right, let's see. Number 16 for Gateshead is down. He's just receiving some attention. Let's have a look. See how Mad Mistake's doing on his stream. Let's see. Anything happened? Nope, doesn't look like it. Right. Let's see what's happening now. 30 minutes gone. There's Tony Mowbray. Well, hey. Geordie Tune for Life. Afternoon, Michael. Yes, I'm a Newcastle fan, but I'd love to see Sunderland get promoted, and that's me being totally serious. Yeah. Well, thanks very much, mate. Fingers crossed. We'll see what ends up happening. It's going to be a very tough season. It's going to be a very tough season with what ends up happening with Southampton, Leicester, and Leeds coming down. But we shall see. It's going to be a tough one. Obviously, you've got Middlesbrough, who'll probably be up there again. Coventry, potentially, with the Sims signing. Norwich and Watford, can they be as bad as what they were last year? We don't know. But we'll have to wait and see that one. But fingers crossed. I do think at the minute we'll make the playoffs because I do believe our team is good enough, even without Ahmad, even without Stewart at the moment. I do believe our team has showed last year it was good enough. So it should really, for me, be at least challenging for playoffs. For me, any less than top 6, I wouldn't take. I think any less than playoffs, I don't think is a good enough season for us, especially because we went there last year. But it's funny because if we finished, say, top half last year, say we finished 12th or 10th, and then this year we finished 7th or 8th, then it's progress, isn't it? But if you finish outside the playoffs, it's regression on paper anyway. Steve Flounders. Go on, Steve. Let's look at what you said. Hey, Michael. Pre-season, yes, but not to have a centre forward to pick from any level. The club is becoming a joke. Tony Mowbray needs some support. I know he's frustrated at the lack of a centre forward alternative. Yeah, I agree. I think certainly by the end of this window, if we don't have if we don't have 3 centre forwards fit on the books, then as big a fan as I am of Speakman and Harvey, then I genuinely think they don't have a leg to stand on with that. I've said that repeatedly. They don't have a leg to stand on with the criticism, and it would be absolutely right, because that's 3 windows in a row now where that same mistake will have happened. And I mean 3 windows since we got promoted to the Championship. It just wouldn't be good enough. But there you have it. So we'll have to wait and see. I do know Mowbray will be frustrated, but at the same time, again, as you said, it is pre-season. Yes, it's frustrating not having one, but again, it's pre-season. I would like to have one really in the next couple of weeks to try and get them in through the door early, but knowing Sunderland, we don't. If the better players become available later in the window, then that's totally fine. I don't mind that. I don't mind waiting a little bit longer, but you just don't want to leave ourselves short again like we did last year. Gateshead have the ball here. Joseph Bennett's trying to pressure the Gateshead keeper, who passes it back to the right-hand side. Amid pressure from Alex Pritchard, Gateshead get it forward. Now Sunderland have the ball again. Dan Ballard, Joe Bellingham, near the centre circle. Back to Niall Huggins. Patrick trying to pass it to Patrick Roberts, and we've given the ball away, but it looks like Gateshead are going to keep it in. Yes, they are going to keep it in. Number 19 for Gateshead, going to try and take on Zach Johnson. Managed to keep hold of the ball, passing it back a bit. And now Gateshead have got it back towards the halfway line. Let's have a look. Right, it's Geordie Tune for life. I thought Sunderland played fantastic football last season, but Luton coming up is great for them. But come on, not great on the eye to watch. Well, I suppose Luton won't care, will they? And nor should they care, because they've done well. They've done exceptionally. They've punched well above their weight, really, if we're honest. But at the same time, that's not their problem. They've done exceptionally well to get to the Premier League. But people obviously think that they'll just immediately come straight back down. But for me, I actually think they might give the Premier League a better go than what people think they will. But yeah, I like them football from Tony Mowbray. My main criticism is I would just like to see us concede a few less goals. But obviously that's probably a byproduct of getting forward more. Speaking of getting forward, Alex Pritchard is going to pass it down towards Patrick Roberts on the left-hand side. Not left-hand side, right-hand side. Goodness me. Come on. And he's giving the ball away. Are we going to get? Is Joe Bellingham going to get back? No, he's not. Right. Well, the Gateshead have the ball. Oh, hang on, not Patrick Roberts. Alex Pritchard had the ball, but he misplaced a pass and has been bundled over, but no free kick given. Pritchard staying down though for the moment. Now Gateshead could break on the right-hand side. Nope, they're going to pass it backwards towards the halfway line. Is Pritchard still down? Pritchard's kind of getting up, but he's still not great. All right. Beastie Boy. Do you think Coventry are stupid for buying Sims with that much, especially with not long left on his contract? I think with 1 year left on his contract, I think anything up to around about 4 million, maybe 5 at an absolute push, I think was about right. But at the end of the day, he gets goals, in my opinion. I'll be very confident in saying this. I think Sims will get 15 to 20 goals for Coventry, possibly more, if he stays injury-free and they give him the service. So, I mean, for that sort of money, I suppose you could argue for us at the minute, that is a lot of money. So if that's the case, then maybe, maybe they have overpaid a bit. But like Anthony Mackham's just said there, they sold Gyökeres and got a good replacement. That's the main reason they're able to do that. The sale from Gyökeres is probably what enabled them to get Sims in the first place. To answer your question, no, I don't think they're stupid for signing Sims. Maybe with the money, possibly, you could argue. But the only way that it goes up to 8 million, as Fabrizio Romano said, is if they get to the Premier League. Steve Thornton, please, I went to Shields today. I don't blame you. Tom responded to Beastie saying 100% for 8 mil. Sims is not worth that money, but understand Coventry's position with losing their main man. Yeah, that's fair enough. Steve says, absolutely, mate. I totally agree, mate. Tony Mowbray's having to have a centre forward signed before we go to the States. Yeah, I would like that as well, mate, but we'll see if we end up doing that. Speakman apparently said there might be a lull in transfer activity to wait and see what we do while we assess the squad. But I'm hoping that doesn't include centre forwards, though, because we really do need another one. Sunderland could be in trouble here. Nope, they've gotten the ball clear. Now it looks just to be a scramble at the minute. The ball is in play at the halfway line. Joe Bellingham tried to get the ball again, but Gateshead have got it back. Stephen Lane, Michael, welcome back. Looking forward to another season with you. Thanks very much, mate. Fingers crossed it's a good one, and hopefully we're happy at the end of next season. Luke Chapman, Northampton Town, rubbish manager, John Brady out. Didn't he get you promoted last year, or am I reading that wrong? To be fair, he should have got you up the year before, but when Bristol Rovers won 7-0 against Scunthorpe, and you beat Barrow 3-1, I think. But obviously, Bristol Rovers literally were finished ahead of you on goals scored after having the exact same points and goal difference. But yeah, who knows? Maybe you don't think he's good enough, and that's fine. No? That's your opinion. Right, back to the game. Again, 36 and just over 36 minutes gone. Gateshead 2, Sunderland nil. Deary me. It's not looked great from Sunderland's point of view, has it? Again, it's down to sharpness, though. It really is, but, it doesn't mean it's great. Gateshead going to keep the ball. The ball's in play at the centre circle. Gateshead still have it. Sunderland trying to win the ball back. And Gateshead have let the ball go out for what it will be a Sunderland throw-in, which it looks like Trey Hume will take. Yes, he has done. Back to Joe Anderson. Back to Dan Ballard. Dan Ballard. Joe Anderson again. Left-hand side still. Pritchard, who's come deeper to receive the ball. Beastie. How much did they get for Gyökeres? I believe it was around about the 20 million figure, mate. I could be wrong on that, but I think it was around that sort of fee. And in which case, that's how they can afford Sims. But you know what? Fair enough. You've spent pretty much around 5 million at most while in this league on Gyökeres. Gyökeres' successor. So in many ways, I suppose you could say that it's a good deal. Gateshead now won the ball back from Sunderland, and they could be through on goal here. Gateshead got the ball, passing it through down the right-hand side, but Joe Anderson has intercepted it. But no, Gateshead have managed to press them into a mistake. Alex Bass has the ball. Steve, thoughts on the strip? I ain't sure. Put it this way, I know a lot of people really didn't like either kit, and for me, that's fine, but in my own opinion, I don't think there's much wrong with either of them. I think they're okay. I think the main thing I've got a problem with is the stick badge, as Carl mentioned earlier. The sticky on badge, whatever you call it, that's just not great. Like, it, again, for the club of our size, it just looks completely tin pot. But otherwise, the design of the kits I quite like, and probably a bit more so having seen them in person. Heck, even the away one, I think the away one's quite nice. But there you go. Again, we'll wait and see. Martin Gibson, how are the lads from Turkey? Really getting beat off Gateshead? Yep. Getting beat 2-0 off Gateshead. If we want to try and win the game, we need to get the next goal, and pretty soon, ideally. Right, Joe Bellingham, Pritchard down the right-hand side. Puts the ball into the box. Is it going to be a shot? Sunderland have scored. There we go. That was a good bit of football there, actually. Quick play. Dan Neil finishes a move off from the edge of the box, and it's Gateshead 2, Sunderland 1. Well, I must admit, it's going to be good to hopefully have a bit more of a game now and see what happens. Just to quickly recap the play, Patrick Roberts passed in interchange with Joe Bellingham, who did a nice flick to Alex Pritchard on the right-hand side, who flicked the ball back across the box, and Dan Neil met it. First time drilled effort into the back of the net. These were Dan Neil. He's one of our own. Yes, Cole as well. Get in, lad. Yep. Obviously, of course, look, like I said before, I want to win the preseason games. If we don't win, then that's fine. I'm not too fussed about them, but, let's see some entertainment. Let's see what ends up happening. Right, suddenly we could be pressuring Gateshead a bit here. Oh, they played it into trouble a little bit, and they've cleared the ball back in towards their half. Dan Ballard wins the header. Now it is out towards Dan Neil. Dan Neil's done well to keep the ball there. Now we're looking a bit more threatening here. Joseph Bennett down the left-hand side. Joseph Bennett now, we've got Trey Hume overlapping with him. Trey Hume passes it back towards Dan Neil. He's going to give the ball away. No, he's not. Back towards Niall Huggins. Zach Johnson. He's come back out a little bit. Gateshead standing firm. Patrick Roberts, right-hand side. What is it with me today, honestly? Patrick Roberts, right-hand side. He's got two men on him. There's no one supporting him, though. He's managed to get past both of them. He's gone into the box. Is he going to have a shot here? He's tried a back flick and nobody's there, and it looks like Gateshead's going to clear it. Cole says, this is a local derby on my mind. Well, I suppose technically, with the exception of Borough, it's the closest we're going to get to a derby, isn't it? For some time. So Gateshead managed to clear the ball. They're going to get it in towards their own half, I think. And it's going to be out for a Gateshead throw-in. No, it is not, is it? Yes, it is. Can't quite tell from here whether it's going to be one. Yeah, well, there you go. So for those of you who just joined, Gateshead 2, Sunderland 1, just after 40 minutes gone. Gateshead went 2-0 up through a deflected effort from Panny, and then through Campbell scoring an absolute worldie before a really good well-worked goal from Sunderland which finished off by Dan Neil, has put us back into the contest. Or contest, like friendly, really. Jake Thompson, South Shields fan here. We held our own today. We don't deserve National League. Fair enough. Like I said, I mean, even if South Shields had beaten us, I wouldn't have been too bothered. But, fair enough. Like I said, it looked, suggesting that the score was 4-3 suggests it was a bloody good game. At least it was entertaining. Red White Army Productions. All right, Bowers. All right, mate. Go subscribe to Red White Army Productions. Brad Young is the person who's the main person behind it. My mate Paul Wilson's on there occasionally as well. Or was, at least. I don't know if he still is. But there you go. Gateshead have got the ball back. in their own third, really. Now going towards the halfway line. Down their left, Sunderland's right-hand side. Managed to keep hold of the ball. Sunderland trying to pressure them, but the Gateshead standing firm at the moment. Passing it back. Yeah, he's still on there, mate. Fair enough. Oh, hang on, as Dan Neil flicked a header back towards Pritchard. Joseph Bennett could have got the ball. Oh, he's tried a sliding challenge, and the referee's going to give a free kick for Gateshead. See if he can get sent off in a pre-season friendly. Hey, dearie me. Honestly, let's see what else is happening. Let's go back to Terry's and see what he is doing. Let's see. Terry's doing all right, isn't he? He's got nearly 100 people watching his stream. Fair enough, but obviously he's a much bigger YouTuber than I am, so that's to be expected. Gateshead got the ball, left-hand side, playing around a little bit of purpose here. Number 3 for Gateshead going down the left byline. Pass it near towards the centre circle. Dan Neal's the closest player to play number 19 who's got the ball. Now Gateshead trying to flick it back towards each other, and there we go, and it's out for a Sunderland goal kick. Yeah, 42.5 minutes gone, so there's 2.5 minutes to go to half-time. Plus probably any potential stoppages with injuries and whatnot, or stoppages in the game one way or another. Joe Anderson, Dan Ballard. There you go, Cole. Another shot of Heineken, mate. Or another sip of it. There's nobody there with him. Come on, lads. Make it a more interesting stream. Make a game from your stream. Make it a bit more interesting, mate. Alex Bass. Try to dink it out wide towards Joe Anderson. It's found him. Now it's going to get towards... I'm trying to think who that is. Trey Hume, I believe. Joseph Bennett trying to pressure Gateshead. Nope, doesn't look like that's going to work. And Gateshead's goalkeeper gets the ball. Beasley Boy, did you see Jalsey tweet with Semedo? Semedo's twice the size of him. I saw. He's a blooming tall lad, isn't he? And again, like I said before, that he's going to have attributes that for the championship should be quite suitable to help us in that division. You know, hopefully he's good technically, and hopefully he's got a bit of physicality about him, bit of athleticism and dynamism. Right, Joe Anderson, left-hand side. Pritchard. Ooh, is going to be out for a Sunderland throw-in? As it is. So Gateshead play still down. No, he's getting no. Sunderland have taken it quickly. Bennett. Pritchard, left-hand side. He's going to get past his man. He's got past one. He's managed to keep hold of it. He's still got it in the box, surprisingly. Tried to pass it. It's deflected back out towards Trey Hume. Trey Hume, left-hand side. Back to Dan Neal. Still in Gateshead's final third, but Sunderland finding it difficult to break through. Gateshead have pretty much packed the box with their own players at the moment. Pritchard. Huggins. Pritchard. Left-hand side again. Take the ball into the box. Dan Neal. He's in space in the penalty area. He's going to have a shot. Oh, and just went wide. Just went wide. Tom, totally agreed with your on your previous live about Dan Ball. He is the one player that the club must keep this summer. Crucial to the defence, in my opinion. I believe he is. The only problem with Dan Ballard, maybe this is what will help us keep him. Unfortunately for him, he missed half of last season, didn't he? Apart from the first 2 and a bit games, he missed the start of the season right up until probably near Christmas, really, and then missed the very end of it. I think it was after the Luton game. I think it was after the March international break. He was basically not existent for the rest of the year. I mean, obviously the injury at the start of the season was because a QPR player decided to try and break his leg and somehow didn't get sent off for it, which is a joke. But there you go. But I agree, he's crucial we keep him. Dan Neal in the penalty box, taking on his man. There's nobody there with him, though. Looks like he's not going to be able to make anything of this. Has that gone out for a Gateshead goal kick? No, it hasn't. But Gateshead's goalkeeper has got the ball. Yeah, Dan Neal, it's a shame for him, really. But there you go. Sorry, not Dan Neal, Dan Ballard. There you go. That is half-time. Gateshead 2, Sunderland 1. Yeah, to sort of quickly address Tom's comment better. Yeah, I do think with Dan Ballard, he's definitely one of the players we've got that can actually get better and get up to Premier League standard. But, we obviously have to make sure we keep him fit. But I agree, we have to keep him. For me, the one player I can see leaving this summer of all the main assets is Jack Clarke. But again, it entirely depends on what happens with the Burnley bids. But Burnley, if they want them, they have to get serious or get lost and do what, basically. But there you have it. Right, guys. So for those of you who are here, what did you think of the game? Put in the comments below. How do you think we played? Do you think we played all right? Do you think we deserve to be level? Are you that bothered about the result at the moment? But there you go. Just let me know what you think in the live chat. Stevie Watson, is Matete playing? To my knowledge, no, he's not. He isn't starting. Let me check if he's on the bench. But I don't think he is. However, I might be incorrect. Let's have a look. Tricky check on Twitter, see what's happening. Also, need to move down the left. Where's the team? Right, Matete. Nope, Matete isn't in the squad, mate. He is not in the squad. There we go. Right, let's see. Beastie Boy. Boring apart from that brilliant goal from Gateshead. Steve Flanders played at Shields. Oh, and there you go. That says the answer. Matete played at South Shields. How long has this stream been going? Jesus Christ, we've been going for over an hour, I've just realised. Well, thanks to the 40-odd people that are still listening to me waffle on. That's incredible dedication. And there's a crow just flying across the camera. Alan Greenwell, Matete meters played earlier. I'm assuming he means Matete. Right. Steve Watson, sounds like he could be off then, Michael. Are you still talking about Matete or are you talking about Clark or Ballard? If you're talking about Matete, then I mentioned in the video of 5 players I'd let go that I actually think Matete is one of the players I'd let go out on loan, and ideally to Plymouth, because Plymouth have obviously got experience with him now. He knows the area, he knows the fan base, knows the club, knows the players, knows the staff there, knows just everything about it, and they're in the Championship now. That's the logical next step for Matete's progression to try and see if he's any good, or at least as good that can try and help us get the Prem. But yeah, I would let Matete go out on loan. And then worst case scenario, and it means if he goes out on loan and smashes it for Plymouth in the Championship, for example, then we could make a bit more money and maybe make a profit if we decide him to not be good enough long term. Oh, yeah. Yeah. As Beastie just said, yeah, boring apart from that brilliant goal from Gateshead, that sums up by me yawning. Sorry, guys. Beastie, is this Gateshead Stadium? Yes, it is. Gateshead International Stadium. I've been at this ground before as well. It's all right, but I haven't actually been there for God knows how long. And the Mac, and how about Dewey Bennett? Yeah, I said I'd like him to go out on loan as well. But there you go. I think for me, right, with Bennett, I think I would let him go out on loan because I think he needs to bulk up and roughen up a little bit. Just because I think he is a bit lightweight. Don't get me wrong, I think there is a good player there. I think there's definitely a player there that's worth persisting with and developing. But he's very, very raw. And I mean, like, incredibly raw. But again, we've got to remember, he's coming from Costa Rica, another country, and is adapting to a different type of culture altogether to what he's used to at a young age, I might add. So there you have it. For me, Bennett, I'd let go out on loan, but if we kept him and we develop him properly, if that's what's best for him, so be it. Let's have a look. Very poor from first off in an attacking sense, but that's mainly down to no striker in this team. Alan says, yep, lack of striker, 4 point, plain as day again. Stephen Lane, looking at last season, we played so much without a main striker. I am with you and a lot of supporters. Why don't the management wake up? Even the manager persists. We need a striker. Well, as I said, I think we can't be revisionist and forget what the recruitment team's actually done on the whole for us. But I do think, but it is right. The criticism of the striker is warranted. It's absolutely valid because last year you could argue it cost us in the end. I do think it did cost us, arguably cost us promotion in the end. Even though I do believe when you look at the Luton second leg, I don't believe you can blame the lack of a focal point on either of the 2 goals we conceded because the first one was a bit of misfortune in the penalty box and the second one was down to a lack of desire for the header, in my opinion. But yeah, we need to sort it out. We all know that. And I'm just hoping that the recruitment team actually address this window. And even if it's not the recruitment team, is KLD giving Speakman the funds then to do that? I don't know. But yeah, one way or another, this has to be, the striker thing must be resolved. Has to be, surely. Beasley, are you going to the friendly on the 29th at the Sol? Currently not at the moment, but that might change. Thane says, Tom here, that's what these 2 games have shown. Without a striker, we are a different animal. With a striker, we are a different animal. Without, we are pretty toothless. Steve Flanders. Michael, sadly, I agree with you. If someone offers £16 million for Ballard, he will be sold. I do believe there is genuine interest in the Dutch midfield lad whose name I just can't remember. Mate, you put me to, I'll put you to shame when it comes to not remembering people's names. Is he the lad from what's it called? Heerenveen, whatever the name is. The Dutch team we played in 2019 at the Stadium of Light in a friendly. I think he was like 28 years old. Now, if he's available I think he was available on a free. So if that's the case, Heerenveen. Oh God, I'm not even going to pronounce that. But yeah, thanks, Thane, anyway, for trying. If he's 20, I think he was 28 years old last time I checked. So if that's the case and he's available on a free, then go for it. Alan Greenwell, 60 million for Clark is way below market value. I agree. I think in today's market, I think it is. I think when you look at the fact that Keane Lewis Potter went from Hull to Brentford a year ago for 16 to 20 million pounds, why Why should we let him go for any less than a minimum 15 to 20? And truthfully, you could argue if Everton were able to get near up to 8 with 1 year left on Sims' contract, then why should we ask for 20? Why shouldn't we should be asking for lower than 20? I don't get it. I really don't understand that. Again, it was like Burnley's bids, to be honest, are just insulting. It's absolutely pathetic. Like, I understand Burnley might want him, and maybe they're trying to unsettle the player, but come on. Well, I think we've made this pretty damn clear at this point. Pay what we want or go. Stop trying to get him at a cheap fee. Like I said before, 24 goal contributions across last season in all competitions. Young player. He's a winger. He's English, and he's got 3 years left on his contract at Sunderland. I ask again, why is he worth any less than an absolute minimum 15 to 20 million? And even then, we probably should be looking 20 plus, really, if we're wanting to protect ourselves. So I don't know. We'll just have to see. But I hope he doesn't go. But if he does go and we use the money, we reinvest the money correctly, then no problem for me. Absolutely no problem. Anthem Mackham, foot manager, block all future bids. If only that were the case, mate. If only that were the case. BC Boy, would Clark want to go? He said he loves playing at Sunderland and he has made a big money move before completely flopped. That's another good shout. That Jack Clark before has already got a Premier League move. He went from Leeds to Tottenham 4 years ago and now knows the grass isn't always greener, even if you go to goes up to a Premier League level just because of the money. He'll have got quite a canny bit of money now because we keep forgetting 4 years ago he was at Leeds and then went to Tottenham. And now he wants to play regular football. So, for me, it would just make sense to have him stay here. If you're asking me, do I think Jack Clark will go? I don't think we'll go because I don't think anyone will bid what we want. But, again, I think if we do sell him, make sure it's on our terms, not what the buying club wants to do. And the bids are too low. So that tells me he's for their bench. Steve, I believe £16 million is the sale value the club have placed on Jack Clark. The lad would be silly to leave us for Burnley. I think with Vincent Kompany there, I think that could be a factor that might want to make him go there. But you could be right. Sunderland's, with all due respect to Burnley, Sunderland's a much bigger club. It just depends. Look, for what it's worth, I think Burnley will do all right next season. I actually think they'll surprise quite a lot of people. But it just remains to be seen. I wouldn't let Jack Clark go. Obviously, if it was up to me, I wouldn't let anyone go that's... Pennywell, man. For goodness sake. No, like Jack Clark, I wouldn't let him go. But I guess it just depends. If we get an offer that the club deem they can't refuse, then, unfortunately, it's probably out of our hands. Pennywell Pundit. Clark is more in need at Sunderland than Tampax is needed in Thane's bathroom between the 15th and 20th of every month. Hey, what are you trying to say? Do you not like Thane? Thane himself, speaking of Thane, if Clark signed a new contract extension, that would mean he'll be here till at least January. Yeah, possibly. Lauren Kenny. Mrs. Patrick Roberts. How are you doing? Hey, Lauren, seriously, how are you doing? I'm doing all right. Hopefully you're doing okay. Beastie Boy, is someone injured? I've just seen someone with a first aid box running on the pitch. Might be a Gateshead player, to be fair. I don't know if it's anyone from Sunderland's end. Lauren, I'm good. Yeah, fair enough. It'd be good to know your boy Patrick is playing. I don't know if you're at the game or if you're watching it or anything, but there you go. Stevie Watson, sorry, I know this is a Sunderland stream, so I'm sorry in advance. Where do you think my team, Argyle, finished? Mate, ask as many questions as you want. The more the merrier. It doesn't have to be about Sunderland. To answer your question with Argyle, put it this way. I think all three promoted clubs will do better collectively than the three promoted clubs did last year. Obviously, Wigan went straight back down. Rotherham, I believe, finished 19th, something like that, 19th, 20th. And then obviously Sunderland, we finished 6th. I think Ipswich will do the best of the three. I think Plymouth will be all right, actually. I think Plymouth, you'll finish around about the 16th to 20th mark, maybe. Conrad obviously disagrees. He says relegation looms. I think the reason I disagree with Conrad is because I think Plymouth's home form will be massive. If Plymouth's home form's good, I think they'll stay up. I think they'll be okay. But we'll wait and see. Sheffield Wednesday, up until when Darren Moore left, I think would have done all right. So, but yeah, well, remains to be seen. I think Sheffield will probably do the worst of the three now because Sheffield's squad, you could argue, is full of aging players and that were League One standard. So we'll wait and see how they can get the gap, bridge the gap, rather. Then Roberts was to blame for the second goal. Yep, I completely agree. He was. Stephen, going back to... I'll quickly read Thane's comment again. Rotherham have signed Cafu from Forest on a free. Great signing for them. Okay, fair enough. Fingers crossed then. Fingers crossed he does all right for them as long as they lose twice to Sunderland. Steve Flounders, right? He's got 2 comments. Steve, I get the impression you want to talk about a centre forward. Just a hunch. Going back to the need for a centre forward, I think we had a set fee ceiling of £4 million for Sims. I'm concerned we won't pay any more than for. I'm guessing you won't pay more than that for a striker. The one thing I would respond to counter that with is I think if you want to get a good striker at championship level or someone that can thrive in our system, I don't think you need to spend £4 million. I think you could get a decent fee. So we'll wait and see. Steve Flowers, a centre forward. What do we think of Yates for £2 million? Right, Steve, is £2 million the definite fee that Blackpool are wanting to sell Yates for? I don't know. You have to tell me. Beast Boy, will be kind of funny to see Sheffield get relegated after having the best playoff comeback in history. See, now Lawrence friend and a friend of mine, Acacia Cameron Jude, who's actually at the game with her mother Nikki. So shout out to the two of you if you somehow happen to be watching. I like Sheffield a lot. However, I really want Sheffield to stay up. As long as they lose twice to Sunderland, I really want them to do well. What's the one I'm looking for? The humbleness and the class they showed after the playoffs was something that I think Luton fans, for example, some of them on social media failed to show even after beating us after the playoff semi-finals. But nevertheless, Sheffield fans, I think, are full of class. They really are. And I would love to see them do well. But I have a hunch they could. I think they're the most likely of the 3 promoted teams to get relegated, put it that way. Stevie, we need to use our home form as an advantage other than a hindrance like in the past. If we can do that and turn it into a fortress, I think we'll be okay. I think these will be as well. Your home form last year was a big factor in why you ended up getting promoted, I believe. So who knows? Why can't you do that? Why can't you end up staying up? Well, let me put it this way. Steve, again, I agree. Sheffield, a great club with great top fans. But yeah, to see with Stevie, I think if you win your home games, I think you'll do all right. Put it that way. Thane, I think the club massively shot themselves in the foot with the Sims deal because if Sims scores the goals to get Coventry promoted, he'll be worth more than £8 million. That is very, very true. That is very true. And again, remember, the only way Coventry are going to be paying £8 million is if they get promoted. For me, I do get the impression if we were just willing to pay up to £4 million for Sims, even if it was paying a little bit extra to get him to the door, I think we have missed a trick there. But again, some people didn't rate him, and that's fine, but I just disagree with it. To answer Steve's earlier question about Jerry Yates for £2 million, I think £2 million a lot for a striker who got relegated, mind. But at the same time, Yates does seem to be quite a mobile player and seems to be a bit different to what we've got. Saying that's not fair, actually. Stewart's pretty mobile, and Semedo I don't know much about. But if you're talking for £2 million, I think we could get worse. There you go. Penny got punt. It's £4 million rising to £8 million. Thane says, exactly. So technically, if they miss out on promotion, they've only paid £1 million more than what he's actually worth. Beastie Boy, how old Yates? I'm assuming you mean how old's Jerry Yates? Bet I mind. I'll have a quick check. I'll try to have a quick check if this hurries up. Let's see. Jerry Yates. He is. Doesn't even tell me here. 10th of November 1996. So that must mean he's like, what, 26, 27? 26 years old. Oh, there you go. Yeah, Steve's just confirmed it. 26 years old. Yeah, I would go for Jerry Yates personally, but it just depends on what fee Blackpool are going to be wanting. And fair enough, they're going to want to actually have a decent fee. Beast Boy, how old is he? Steve, Yates and a fit Stewart would be a handful. Yeah, I think they could be, to be fair. I'm trying very hard not to comment on what strikers I would want because I want to try and save that for the video of the 5 players I want Sunderland to sign. But suffice to say, again, I think like I said, we all know how big a target striking options are and how we need to sort themselves out. We need to get as many striking options as possible because although predominantly we play with one up top, occasionally we might want to switch it. We might want to switch tactics and systems to go to a 2 up top. Thane says, where is it? Here we go. Clark Harris or Yates would be my preferred options when we want. Now, Clark Harris is an interesting one because 3 years ago, when he left Bristol Rovers to go to Peterborough, I was adamant then that was the main striker I wanted Sunderland to get. Clark Harris, for me, people can say that he didn't do well in the Championship, but I actually looked this up. He scored 12 goals in a relegated Peterborough side. And for me, that's no shapes going because that means they can't have created that many chances. Or unless they did create many chances and the reason they went down was because they conceded loads of goals. But for me, Clark Harris, apparently he's been transfer listed from Peterborough and he's got a year left on his contract. But the problem I've got with that is, I mean, first of all, is Clark Harris's attitude right? Because we do got to remember that the recruitment team look at attitudes as well as ability now. And also, is he going to want to be on the bench? Because Clark Harris, I'd imagine, probably isn't going to be first choice. But if say Clark Harris was available for, and if it's any Peterborough fans, I might be insulting Peterborough by saying this, but 500k to £1,000,000 or something, I think we could do a lot worse for that sort of money. But yeah, Yates, I would. So neither of them I can play with. Penny put it. I know Lahadji got the assisted 8 at Shields, but he moves and plays like a bag of nerves. Reminds me of Gene Slater from EastEnders. But there you go. Right. Well, we'll wait and see. I think again, it's just that this is the first time he's got a chance to play properly, hasn't he? And the game has kicked off again, by the way. Gateshead 2, Sunderland 1, but there's a Gateshead player down, so there's nothing happening at the moment. Where was it? Tom. Speaking of home form, if we can improve our home form this season, we could be on for top 2, as away form was far better last season and shouldn't be the case when we have the stadium alight. I completely agree. That was probably one of the things I think the club, and I think Mowbray himself and the players would admit, that I think they would think themselves that the home form wasn't good enough. I think we were something like 16th for home form and 4th for away form, if you're looking at home and away tables. So if we can keep our away form the way it is and just improve at the Stadium of Light, then there's no reason why we can't push for top 2. But obviously, again, you do need to have quite a bit going our favour for it. Conrad Tang, Stevie Watson, I hope you stay up, but the championship looks tougher this year. And didn't you lose an attacker to Blackburn, and all the lone players, e.g. Mumba from last year, will be very tough? I think they won't get Mumba back. I think Mumba will probably replace Max Aarons at Norwich if Max Aarons is to go. Anyway, Gates have a free kick. Just bear with me quickly while I take a drink, because I've been talking a lot for the last hour and 20 minutes. Just to tell you, that's diluted. I'm not drinking undiluted lemon squash, but there you go. Lemon and lime squash can't be it. Right. Steve Walter, comrade, we have a great manager. The thing with the championship, I've noticed a lot of big names. Other teams will see how well we progress loan players, so hopefully we can get a few in. Yeah, well, last season proved it, didn't it? So, to be honest, our aim this championship was, I think we got promoted 1 or 2 seasons early, but we had to go for it. Well, actually, Steve, I'll ask you this then. What's your aim for this season? Is it mainly just to stay up, or are you wanting to try and aim higher than that? Tom Oxon, we keep getting linked to that young lad from Leeds, but in my opinion, if he was any good, then Leeds were in the championship probably wouldn't be looking for a loan move for the lad. We'll wait and see. Stevie Wonders might have to run for cover with this comment. If we aren't in the top 6 after a dozen games, the natives will want Tony Mowbray replaced. I'll talk about Tony Mowbray a bit later on, but we will, because right anyway, let's try and look at the game. So 47.5 minutes gone. Gateshead 2, Sunderland 1. So Daniel's got the ball halfway line. Obviously now Sunderland are kicking from right to left this time. Joe Bellingham has tried to get the ball. Gateshead have got it back. No, they do not. Sunderland now have it back. Joe Bellingham. I think that's Patrick. Yeah, Patrick Roberts. He's going to try and switch it. Hasn't quite got it, but Alex Pritchard's got the ball in the final third. Oh, hang on, there could be a chance here. It's a chance for Jewison Bennett, and it's a save by the keeper. There you go. That was a good. It was basically it was a chance down the left, but down the right byline for Sunderland. Gateshead's left. Bennett had a good opportunity and had a shot straight at the keeper from outside the 6-yard box. Stevie Watson, playoffs. Watch Plymouth win the playoffs now. I've said that, and I'm laughing about it. There you go. Gateshead have the ball back. They've passed it back towards their back line. Sunderland just trying to press them. Jewison Bennett trying to press. Gateshead have launched it clear, and it's into Sunderland's own half. Sunderland passing the ball back towards Alex Bass. A pass from Zach Johnson. Right, Niall Huggins. He's got the ball right-hand side rather. Joe Bellingham. Back to Dan Ballard. Pritchard. Anderson. Patrick Roberts ahead of him. Is he going to get the ball? Is he going to keep hold of it? No, he's not. It is going out for a Sunderland throw-in. Pritchard's got the ball there. Patrick Roberts. No, sorry, not Patrick Roberts. Trey Hume is pretty much next to him. Stevie Watson quickly says, 17th will be a good start. We're now going to enjoy whatever happens. We will give it a good go. I do think he will, to be fair. I do think he will. Sunderland lost the ball. Gateshead now have it back. They're going to launch it forward. Patrick Roberts going to get to that. No, he's not. Gateshead have possession. Nearly 50 minutes gone. Gateshead 2, Sunderland 1. Back out. Gateshead have the ball again. So they're not really pressing there very much. Through long ball forward, but it is back towards Alex Bass, who passes it to Dan Ballard. Joe Anderson to his left, Zach Johnson on the other side of the pitch to his right. But Dan Ballard's keeping hold of the ball. Alex Pritchard. Right, back to Dan Neal. Back to Pritchard. Back to Zach Johnson. Is he going to pass it back to Alex Bass? Doesn't look like he is. There we go. Oh, no. Gateshead have the ball back. Could it be 3-1 Gateshead? Who knows? Could be another goal thriller at this rate. Gateshead, right, got the ball, halfway line. Now down towards the right-hand side. Now it's back into the centre circle. Sunderland trying to press to get hold of the ball, but Gateshead are playing around them. Gateshead are going to go. God, my throat's really starting to go now. I think, guys, just let you know, I'm probably going to go off more or less as soon as the game's finished. Much to the mercy of everybody. Gateshead, right-hand side. Now passing it back the halfway line. Into their own half. Just into the semicircle. Decent football from Gateshead this, but Sunderland have intercepted it. Joe Anderson does a long ball forward. Patrick Roberts isn't going to keep that in, and it is a throw into Gateshead. Steve Watson, this is why I love you, Michael. You have time for everyone. I have time for most clubs. There's some clubs I can't stand, but yeah. Most clubs I do have. I think I've got now to get nothing. Like Plymouth, for example, I've got quite... I think the thing is, I try to look at it from other fans' perspectives of judgments of their own clubs. But yeah, you know, I always try to be respectful. It costs nothing to be respectful as much as it costs nothing to be kind. Right, let's see. Right, Sunderland do not have the ball. No, they do have the ball again now. Joe Bellingham, next to the centre circle. Passes it through to Dan Neal. Alex Pritchard. Tries to lump it forward. Joseph Bennett did well to control that there, to be fair. Joe Anderson. Left-hand side. Ball into the box. Cleared. Out for a Sunderland throw-in. Graham Sims, Penny Gene Slater. That's class. Hey, dear. Dan Neal on the edge of the box. Is he going to have a shot? Is he going to go for it? No. He's going to pass it out wide. Back to Trey Hume. Pritchard's to his left, but he passes it back towards... That is Dan Ballard, I think. Ball into the box. Gateshead clear it. Is it going to be a Sunderland corner? Yes, it is. Corner to Sunderland. 50, just gone the 52-minute mark. Let us know, guys. What do you think of the performance so far? What do you think of what we've seen? Is there anything? Does this address any issues in the squad? This performance so far, as well as Shields. Is there anything you want to maybe see us add towards the squad? But we shall. I'm sorry, it's a fly buzzing. Yeah, just let us know what you think. Oh, hang on. Pritchard had a shot in the box. I nearly missed the corner. I need to pay attention here. Gateshead. Now they've got the ball back. Pritchard tried to intercept, but hasn't quite managed to do so. Now Gateshead could break free down the right-hand side. Lad's going to try and switch the play again, but it's gone as far as Niall Huggins. Back to Alex Bass, who hoofs it long. And it's now back out to Patrick Roberts. Sunderland's own third here. Zach Johnson. Back to Niall Huggins. Jewison Bennett got dispossessed though. Could be 3-1 to Gateshead. Well, it could be 3-1 to Gateshead. Gateshead have the ball again. One of my dogs is on the windowsill. There's going to be people watching, no doubt. Right. 53 minutes gone. You see, I think that's Mike Williamson shouting instructions on the touchline. No, sorry. I don't know. There must be someone from Sunderland. Oh, hang on. There'll be a chance through, but Jewison Bennett is offside. Yeah. I'll tell you quickly, right, about Tony Mowbray. Because this is the funny. I want to hear your guys' opinions. What do you guys think about Tony Mowbray for this coming season? Because to address Steve's comment, after it doesn't come, the natives want Tony Mowbray replaced. I think I'd replace Tony Mowbray if we have a really bad start to next season. And by next season, I'm talking after 15 to 20 games, if we are nowhere near the playoffs. I think, for me, I expect if we're like just say 2-3 points below the playoffs consistently and we're still in the mix, then I don't see any reason to swap it. But the problem, I think, is that Speakman's come out and said that, or implied he wants top two, because he said that, you know, no one's going to be satisfied with playoffs. We want a squad near challenging near the top of the league. So that suggests to me that we are looking for top two amongst our expectations this season. And if we don't do that early doors, then a lot of people will be calling for Tony Mowbray to go. Whether that's right or wrong, that's up to you. But that is probably what will end up happening. So I do agree with Steve. I really hope, I think it's right now, I think Tony Mowbray definitely deserves a shot next season. He got basically a half-crook Sunderland team into the playoffs last year, which is a remarkable achievement, really remarkable achievement. But obviously now this season, with how well we did last year, with that comes natural expectation. And it's hard to it probably might be hard for the players to adjust to that. But saying that though, the players themselves wanted to Saying that though, the players themselves what expected playoffs from themselves last year, so we don't know. Anyway, Patrick Roberts down the right hand side. It's going to go out for a Sunderland corner. Yeah, nearly 55 minutes gone, so we're nearly 2/3 of the way through the game. Milter. I have a feeling we will do terrible at the start, and Mowbray will go. Hopefully not though. I'll respond to that properly in a moment once we've taken this corner. Patrick Roberts is standing over it. Graham Mowbray out, Mike Bassett nailed on. Oh dear. Right, Pritchard, Daniel, back to Patrick Roberts. Now he's passed it through to, I believe that is maybe Trey Hume, but whoever it is, it's offside. Yeah, well, I think Sunderland's start of the season is one that we need to start well in because, like I say, you've got Ipswich, Preston, Rotherham, and Coventry in August. Then Southampton, QPR, Blackburn, Cardiff, Sheffield Wednesday in September. And we need to get off to a good start in those games because I think I'd take draws against Coventry, Blackburn, and Southampton on paper right now, but the rest of them you need to be winning. But of course, we're probably going to lose a game or two in there somewhere. I think out of the first 9 games, we need to get at least 5 wins, I think, and maybe a couple of draws, just to sort of put ourselves right up there into the conversation. When we have winnable games, we need to be winning them to lessen the pressure when it comes to games against sides around us. Let's have a look. Steve, you mentioned a comment about Clark Harris, I believe, earlier. Let's have a look. Hold on. We won't sign Clark Harris. He's too old for our so-called model. What do you mean so-called model? That is the model. Right. Bass passing it. Oh, Gates Sunderland playing a little bit of trouble here. Right, Zach Johnson's got it cleared. Alex Pritchard. He's put it through towards Dan Neal, but Gateshead have managed to intercept and clear it. Well, clear it somewhat. Steve Landers, I don't think Tony Mowbray was appointed. The club didn't see him as a long-term appointment. I honestly think Mowbray thinks he hasn't got the full backing of the club. Well, maybe he is. Maybe he has. Maybe he hasn't. I guess depends what you mean by full backing. If you mean going out and splashing 20 million quid, then I don't know. But I think certainly there's an argument for that if he doesn't get another forward, put it that way. If Speakman and Harvey don't get another forward. Anyway, Gateshead have a chance on the edge of the box. They are going to shoot. It's deflected. Deflected wide for a Gateshead corner. I was thinking, no, not another deflected goal. We've already had one of those. Yeah, number 9 assisted. I don't know which number that was for Gateshead, but yeah, it was deflected off. I believe that was Dak Johnson for a corner. Corner tank. There's a favourable schedule in August and September, and a big chunk of points is needed from those games before we take on the bigger guns in October. Yes, I agree. In October, off the top of my head, I think we've got Watford, Borough, Stoke, Leicester, and Norwich. And I think all of them are difficult fixtures. So I reckon for me that we need to get off to a good start in the first 2 months of the season. We need to just give ourselves a little bit of wiggle room just in case we find October pretty tricky. Anyway, Gateshead had played the corner, but they've got the ball on the right-hand side. Are they going to put the ball into the box? No, they're not. They're going to pass it backwards. Now they lump the ball into the box. Dan Ballard manages to head it away temporarily anyway. Gateshead still have the ball. Steve Landers, the model for me, Michael, should also allow for some experience qualities supplement our youth. I agree with that, but again, we always fall into the trap of thinking that we don't have any experience when we do. Bart's experienced, Pritchard's experienced, Gooch is experienced, and there's another one, I'm sure there is, who's experienced. Yeah, Patrick Roberts, to a lesser degree, is experienced. Even if you want to look at even if you want to disregard their ages, Dennis Serkin's had 2 seasons of football now. Dan Neal's had pretty much a season and 3/4 of football. You know, we're gonna, just because someone is younger doesn't mean that they aren't experienced. I think for me, I don't. It's nothing against Steve. It's just a thing I get pretty sick of hearing when people go, "We don't have experience," when in fact we do. Just they're a bit younger than what people might class as experienced. Graham says, realistically, Mowbray keeping himself there by overachieving, and the club will get rid first chance. We'll find out, I suppose. The thing is, we're going to have it depends. Well, it depends what people think. If we're not in the playoff, if we're not near the playoffs after the first dozen or so games, then should Mowbray go? Because that was probably one of the things. As harsh as it's going to sound, we need to try and be competing to go up next year. So we'll wait and see. James Will says, experience and maturity are 2 different things. We lack maturity. I suppose to argue if we lacked maturity, then we wouldn't have got in the playoffs, though. Like, if you look at the mature performance, I would argue. So I'm trying to get the dog on the sofa. Come on, there you go. I suppose I would argue a mature performance to a degree was West Brom away, and we predominantly had a younger side, and we were 1-0 down. So I think for our age, we do have maturity. Again, James, you disagree, but it's fine. As long as you respect my opinion, I'll respect yours. But for me, I don't know. Again, I just feel like you can say experience, maturity, whatever you want. I do think we have a bigger bit of that, a bigger conundrum of that than what people think we do. But again, that's just me. Right. Way back to you. Zach Johnson, Dan Neil, Trey Hume. No, sorry, Niall Huggins. So I told you, they always look similar from a distance. Alex Pritchard, Dan Neil. Dan Neil back to Alex Pritchard. Up the ball forward to Jewison Bennett, who again is offside. Goodness me. Steve says, I sadly agree with Graham's comment. I think the club will get rid of him. Steve has maturity and some know-how, especially when we play at the Stadium of Light. That's one thing we definitely could do with. I will admit that. If James, I'll rephrase. If that's what you mean by maturity when playing at home in particular, then I think you've got a point. But I think with it, obviously we've said before, our home form must improve. Simple as that. And I think we often the goals we tend to concede are often from just daft moments of stupidity where we give the ball away. If that's what people mean by maturity, then I agree. Maturity would certainly help us. Gateshead going forward, they're into the penalty box, back out towards the left-hand side. Sunderland are going to try and let this go for a goal kick, but it doesn't look like they're going to succeed, and it is a throw into Gateshead. Jack Reed, I like Mowbray after first season, but we will see how it pans out. We definitely will. I mean, even if we got to a point where we do get rid of Mowbray, it wouldn't surprise me if we end up getting a foreign head coach. It just depends. We may very well end up getting a foreign head coach. But, you know, people might think that's harsh on Mowbray, but that's unfortunately probably the reality. Yeah, second half, apart from a couple of offside efforts from Bennett and one effort genuine effort he had, nothing's really happened. I say that. Ooh. Long distance shot from Gateshead went wide, which could have been 3-1. Not quite. Yeah, second half been a bit dull. Nothing's really happened. Oh, here we go. We're going to get some substitutions, I think. Yeah. So who's this coming on for Sunderland? Right. So this is going to be a bunch of kids now. And I'm not even going to have the faintest idea who half of these are. Let's have a look. Right, well, who's coming off? Dan Ballard's coming off, I think. No, hang on. Zach Johnson's coming off. Jewison Bennett's coming off. Someone in the comments will have to correct me on this. Let's have a look. Right, here we go. Substitutes. So we have got Harry Fieldson, Callum Wilson, not Callum Wilson, the Newcastle striker. Oliver Bainbridge, Marshall Burke, Luke Bell, Max Thompson. Hang on, someone's got the ball. Alex Pritchard, left-hand side. He passed the ball again. Back out towards Joe Bellingham, who strikes from distance, and it is over for a Gateshead goal kick. James, well, I respect your position. I see where you're coming from. There were games like last season, like Swansea at home, when things were going against the lads, and they fell into that and played like victims. I do kind of get that. We definitely did. But I think that game, it was very hard not to play like a victim when we had Keith Stroud, who's still still the worst referee performance I've ever seen. But remember, you're not allowed to criticise referees now. But I do get your point. Certainly a bit more maturity wouldn't help. I do get what you're saying. Right, back with Sunderland. Patrick Roberts has got the ball. Joe Bellingham trying to drive with it. Pritchard. Oh, he's managed to come away with it still. He's going to switch it. He's going to get it out wide to Joe Anderson, who's got a bit of space. No, he's not. Lump the ball forward. Patrick Roberts into the box. He's still gone out. I know. Patrick Roberts, I'll tell you what, I forgot how skillful Patrick Roberts is. No wonder Lauren Kenny fancies him. Oh, God. Oh, hang on. 2-2. There we go. And I think that is... What's happened to Sunderland? Yeah, is Gateshead 2, Sunderland 2. Tell you what, both our goals, to be fair, have come from good bits of play. It came through play from the centre of the pitch, which then switched around to the right-hand side of the penalty area, and then a ball forward, and I believe... Oh, hang on, I've got the numbers. Yep, Niall Huggins. Niall Huggins has equalised for Sunderland from close range. So Gateshead 2, Sunderland 2. The scoreboard on the stream's taking a while to change. There we go. Gateshead 2, Sunderland 2. Right, I think I'm definitely going to have this picture that James Hunter put on Twitter about the players' numbers, so I can actually have a look. Anyway, let's see. Graham Stevenson. Thing is, Mowbray does have the know-how in this league and experience. Clubs should back him. Yeah, I do get what you mean. James Wells, Stroud and Paulson were absolutely worst referees I've seen. Oh, yeah. Don't get me wrong. Look, we can't let the referees take anything away from our own performances. I absolutely agree with people who say that. It's just that when people say that, to me, there's an implication there that we can't criticise referees, and I hate that Because if you're allowed to criticise players when they've had a stinker, then why shouldn't you be allowed to criticise referees? I just don't get it. I really don't understand it. Steve says, don't know if you saw the Shields game, but Tutoriov when he came on looks very useful. Rig was excellent. I saw bits of them. I saw Rig's winning goal. Like I said, Steve, I watched bits of the Shields game. I just didn't see the full thing. Right, back with the ball. Jesus Christ, yeah. This game couldn't end soon enough. My throat's now starting to kill. Anyway, but rest assured, I'll carry on to the end. Right, ball gone forward. Gateshead got the ball. Oh, hang on. Could Max Thompson be pressing in on this? It's close-ish towards the Gateshead keeper. Nope, passing it around the back. He's going to miss out on getting it. Back towards the Gateshead keeper. bit of a race with Max Thompson there. There you go. Whoop. Is that going to be a free kick to Gateshead there for coming together? No, it's not. Right. So we have Joe Anderson with the ball. Coming out to try and see if there's any options next to him. Now out towards Harry Fieldson. Fieldson with the ball. Oh, that's a bit of a wicked through ball, a wicked launch forward. Patrick Roberts has got the ball, right hand side of the halfway line. That's it. Joe Bellingham's through here. What's he going to do? Anyone going to make any options? Joe Bellingham there wasn't many options for him to pass to, and it's deflected out for a Sunderland corner. James Whale. I watched the Shields game as a SCFC and South Shields FC fan. It was a horrible affair, excitement and pain. Yeah, I suppose you probably wanted to finish 3-3 then, wouldn't you? But yeah, I do see your point. Yeah, it's like when you. So I used to have Blackpool as a second choice team, but obviously when they played each other, I always wanted Sunderland to win, without doubt. I don't follow Blackpool as much anymore as I used to, but I do hope they go up. Corner comes in from Patrick Roberts, I think, and it's gone, and it's a pretty dreadful corner. And now it's going to be back with Joe Anderson, who passes it back towards. I need to see if I can find out who this goalkeeper is, because Alex Bass was number 1. Who's the goalkeeper? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Right. So I'll have the ball again. Now it's back with Max Thompson, and it goes, and just as I start commentating again, it goes out for a throw in, and it's to Sunderland. Niall Huggins to take, Niall Huggins to take this. Oh dear, bit of a ping pong in the ping pong ball there. Still ping pong. Now it's out for a Gateshead throw in. Oh dear. I'll tell you what then, while we're waiting, while nothing's really happening. Hang on, James. Funny enough, after SCFC played Blackpool at Bloomfield, I watched Blackpool pod and they were all giving 09 a pasting, calling him a nasty player. Well, to be fair, James, it's about time we had a player like that, because one of the criticisms that we're often too nice. And it's nice for once that we can be a bit of shithousery. You know, that it's something that definitely would not go amiss, put it that way. I'll ask you guys, right? In the talk of strikers, because obviously Steve's kind of started the Striker Talk Association, whatever you want to call it. What strikers would you want to see Sunderland sign realistically? But bearing in mind Sunderland's lack of spending a huge amount of fees on a player, which again I've got no problem with, but strikers are more expensive. Who would you have? Put your names in the chat below and see if we can read them out. Anyway, back with it. Sunderland have got the ball, I think. Now it's becoming a bit scrappy. Ball forward, but it's intercepted by Gateshead. Now they've got the ball again, back in the centre circle. Threw a ball down to Gateshead's left, Sunderland's right-hand side. Oh, hang on, this could be a chance for Gateshead here. It's got the ball in, and it is a shot that's gone wide. And I think it's a goal kick. Tom Oxon, Harry Kane wants to leave Spurs. I said realistic. Oh, dear me. Imagine Harry Kane coming to Sunderland. Dennis Serkin, can you be Agent Dennis, mate? Agent Dennis. Oh my God, I've just noticed something. Look at the team sheet. Hang on, see if you can see it. Number 7, Jude Bellingham. God, imagine if we actually had Jude Bellingham. Cole Pep Kane wouldn't get into our team. Tom, could win a trophy if we win the league as well. Hang on. Oh no, they're just replaying Huggins' goal. Okay, I thought they were going to show a chance for Sunderland to maybe make it 3-2, but never mind. Okay, so we're now 3/4 of the way through the game. 69 minutes gone, and Gateshead are making a host of changes that I will no doubt not know who any of them are. But there you go. So we've got just over 20 minutes to go. Gateshead 2, Sunderland 2. Still miraculously, there's around between 30 and 40 people watching. So fair enough for that. James Will, Kane's too old. Yeah, for our model he is. Definitely is. I think there was reports that Spurs were still wanting. Spurs were wanting like 80 million for him. Going on through ball, through there. Oh, nearly went to Max Thompson, but the Gateshead goalkeeper read the play well and kicked it out for a throw in, which Sunderland have taken. Now it's with Alex Pritchard, right hand side. Patrick Roberts just ahead of him, but Sunderland have lost the ball. Now Gateshead could get clear here. Gateshead and Sunderland have got it back. Joe Bellingham driving forward with possession. Now here's another chance here. There's a chance for Max Thompson. Nah, the ball's actually a bit further wide than I thought. Max Thompson, Patrick Roberts in the penalty area, taking on his man. Tries to put a ball towards the 6-yard box. Patrick Roberts, side netting. Side netting from Patrick Roberts. Oh, well, now the game's sort of got a bit more interesting. But definitely not been short of goals today, have we? 4-3 at South Shields and then 2-2 at Gateshead. So again, so my mates down Andrew are at the game. James Will, classic Roberts. Yeah. Oh dear. I like Roberts a lot. It's a shame. One of the bad things about Ahmad not being here next season is missing the Ahmad and Roberts partnership. I'm going to miss that. I'm good. But anyway, Zach Johnson with the ball. Being pressed by Gateshead a bit. Blimey, Gateshead got 4 players, like sort of now they've sort of got a triangle of players around our play at the moment. Back out from the goalkeeper. Hang on. Patrick Roberts going to keep this in. He's kept this in. Patrick Roberts. There's only really Max Thompson up there with him. Patrick Roberts still got the ball, but no, he hasn't anymore. Gateshead have managed to get rid of it for the time being. And Gateshead are going to hoof this clear. No, they're going to pass it out. And Joe Bellingham's now got the ball. Back to Dan Neal. Passes it to Pritchard. Joe Anderson manages to get hold of it. So a free kick for Sunderland on the edge of the area. Doesn't look like there's going to be. And there's a seagull that's just flew right past the camera. Yep, and it's a goal kick for Gateshead. Graham Anderson, that young kid who's just left Aberdeen for Leeds. 51 goals in all competition for 200k. James Whale, Sharp would do a job. I'm assuming you mean Billy Sharp, but yeah, he probably would. I'll tell you one player who I probably wouldn't mind. Maybe if we could try a loan deal for like Liam Brewster from Sheffield United, because I think he's a bit injured. I know he's a bit injured. He's had time with injuries, but it depends if Sheffield United are going to deem him good enough next year. And if they're not, then I think we should be all over that with a loan deal. But that's just me. That is just me. Gateshead still have the ball. James Will. Oh yes, Brewster is allowed. Let's see. Yeah, it's now happening. Let's answer Tom's question. Speaking of strikers, though, if we keep him, do you think Stewart will be the same player next season, or will he need till Christmas to bed in because he's a terrible injury to come back from? I've heard Achilles injuries are apparently among the worst to come from. Yeah, it's a funny one. Depends how long it takes, doesn't it? I mean, Mad Mistake put on his video, and I don't know where he's heard this from, but it might have been from something genuine, that apparently Stewart could be out till September or October at this rate. Will he be the same player? Well, he could very well not be. Sometimes those injuries are horrendous to try and recover from, as you've said. So I don't know whether he would be the same player or not. The issue I've got with Stewart mainly is down to his contracts, where I think if he's not going to back up his claim with actions about wanting to stay by signing a contract, then I'd look to sell him, because if we risk losing him for free, try and get a bit of money for him. The problem is you're not going to get that very much. You're probably going to get at most about 5 million, and maybe that's even a bit less, considering he's had 2 huge injuries and he's got a year left on his deal. So we'll see. Good to know James agrees with me about Brewster. Oh yes, Brewster is a lad. Thanks, so glad you agree. At least someone will. 73 minutes gone. Gateshead 2, Sunderland 2. For those of you who have joined, or just joined rather, Sunderland were 2-0 down at Gateshead. Thanks to goals from Panny and Campbell, the second goal of which was a screamer. There's the link for the game, by the way, in the stream. Before goals from goals from Dan Neal and Niall Huggins have got Sunderland back level. Tom Oxford, 100% agree. If he doesn't sign, then cash in. Jeswell, put a big contract in front of Stewart. If he says yes, then great. If not, then sell him. I think if by big contract, I don't want to break our wage structure, but I would want us to, and I think Stewart, that's what I mean. The club on the one hand, the club need to be careful not to screw Stewart over. But on the other hand, the Stewart needs to be careful not to be too greedy here and not to be chasing so much money to the point where it's going to ruin his career, basically. You know, he's got to remember what he's got at Sunderland. And I know people say it's a job to them and all that, but surely the idea of being adored by the supporters can't. If a footballer says they don't think of or don't want that, then they're delusional and lying for me. But like James said, we can't have this saga ongoing. I completely agree, my friend. We cannot have this ongoing because it's been ongoing for about a year now, and I'm getting very sick of it, to be honest. Anyway, Joe Bellingham got the ball to Pritchard, who's given it away back to Gateshead. Jesus Christ, come on. So, well, including added time, at most there'll be about 20 minutes left. Gateshead keeper passes it through. Gateshead have still got the ball down the left-hand side. Sunderland trying to press. I keep thinking that's Jack Clark because the lights just come on's got the number 20. Stevie Watson, the ground looks like the old Brighton ground before they moved. I wouldn't know, mate. I didn't know what the Brighton ground looked like. You might have to send us a picture on social media. Anyway, that ball has been kicked out for a Gateshead throw-in. We're approaching the 75th minute mark. Yeah, the game sort of died down again a bit, hasn't it? But as I've said that before, the games tend to come into life. So fingers crossed that ends up happening here. Right, Gateshead. Oh, bad pass. They've given the ball away now. So now it's with. I swear I've got the numbers in front of me. 15. Why has it done that? There we go. Well, as I found out what the names of the players are, now it's gone up top. Graham Stevenson, Adam Armstrong, top scorer next season. That's not a bad shout. That I think one of the reasons I think Southampton will do well is if they keep the likes of Che Adams and Adam Armstrong. They are two lethal players for the Championship. They really are. It's a shame we don't have players like that. Would have loved to have. Joe Bellingham. Now back with Roberts, I think. No, it's not quite. No, it's just with Dan Neil. Why do I think Dan Neil looks like Patrick Roberts? Goodness me. Stevie Watts, how would you know? Let's have a look. Yeah, so far, again, the game's died down a little bit now. I've said that quite a few times. Right, 76 minutes gone. It's 2-2. We're entering pretty much the last 14 minutes, but again, it depends with what added time there's going to be. Zach Johnson, we've got the ball. Sunderland passing it round the back again. So now we've got Dan Neil, who's turned with the ball. Passed it to Alex Pritchard, who's received it. Hang on, maybe if I actually did this. Right, there we go. Alex Pritchard. Back to Joe Anderson. No, not Joe Anderson. Sorry, my mistake. Maybe Hope wasn't. Well, now Oliver Bainbridge Oliver Bainbridge with the ball. Sorry, no, now Howie Fieldson with it. Bainbridge. Fieldson. Now back with Pritchard. Got the ball forward, but again, you can definitely tell the lack of a focal point is definitely missing in this game. This is what, but I suppose again, if anything, if what Speakman said's right, and they're looking to assess where they are in pre-season before making any more signings, hopefully the lack of a focal point will make us accelerate getting another forward in. Preferably one who is a focal point. Joe Bellingham, did a bit of a crunching tackle, but he's still got the ball, and he's been fouled, and now a free kick to Sunderland. 77 minutes gone. Gateshead 2, Sunderland 2. Colin Swinney, what do you think of Cameron Archer? Keep up the good work. Love your content. All I'm going to say to that is, look for me 5 players. I'd want Sunderland to sign video. But suffice to say with Cameron Archer, if there's a chance we could get him, I would do that deal in a heartbeat. Absolute heartbeat. Tom Ogson, I think Vardy will do a job in the Championship if he stays. Fancy a loan deal, Jamie Vardy? Fancy a loan deal to Sunderland? Yeah, and also, I think Leicester would be silly to let Jamie Vardy go, unless, of course, it's his decision to leave. But I think someone like me, one of your mates was saying that Jamie Vardy's the player he would have. Now, we know it's not the typical player that our recruitment team go for, but he's someone that has got a bit of experience. And I think if the deal could be done, then why not? I think Jamie Vardy is someone we should be looking at, but I just doubt it. I think Leicester are just going to use him, aren't they? And I think they'd be silly not to. Right, a couple more changes. Yeah, more for players that I don't know about. And Sunderland, from their own goal kick, have just given it away for a throw-in. James Well, Stuart, Vardy and Semedo, lovely stuff. Yeah. Well, I think, look, if even you had Stuart, Semedo and, I don't know, Cameron Archer, something like that, then for me, that would equally be quite nice. Like I said, if it didn't clash with our model so much, I wouldn't have minded going for Clark Harris as a squad option. But I doubt that'll happen because again, age doesn't fit the model. We'll deem that to be too old, and I think, I'm sorry, they'll deem him to be too old, and I think he won't want to be third or fourth choice. Cameron Querty, what do you think about Bellingham? Oh, Jude Bellingham's absolutely class. Yeah, I'm assuming obviously you mean Job. I think with Job, right, the thing to bear in mind is, and I think a lot of our fans need to remember this before they start slating him or anything, if he doesn't set the world alight in his first few games, don't expect him to be like his brother. There's a good chance that Job will not be anywhere near like what Job will not be anywhere near like what Jude is. And for me, that's not a bad thing necessarily. I think Joe Bellingham, from the bits I've seen here, looks quite a combative midfielder. But again, you've got to bear in mind it's against Gateshead. With Bellingham, though, I think my hunch tells me he will develop into a very good player. And I think then it means we've made sense by going for him. Anyway, but yeah, no, but to answer your question with Bellingham, yeah, well, from what I've seen here so far, I like the look of him, but bear in mind it's only one game. I need to watch him for a number of games first. James, well, maybe Gelhardt, I'd have him back. I would, but there's two things you've got to look at. Some people don't perceive him as a forward, which I disagree. I think he was a forward. I think he was just not played in the way that he was originally intended to be played. I mean, granted, his finishing is pretty crap, like. But I feel with Gelhardt, he's someone I think who would be worth going for again. But I think now Leeds are in. If Leeds had stayed up, I could have seen it. But now Leeds are in the Championship. I just think they'd be silly to try and loan him out to us because we want to try and compete where Leeds are going to be. Oh, hang on, could be a chance for 3-2 Sunderland here. We're going to pass the ball. It's deflected. Shot. 3-2 Sunderland. There we go. There was a bit of ping pong ball in the box there. I have no idea who's just scored. It'll be one of the youngsters who's just came on. But yeah, there we go. Gateshead 2, Sunderland 3. But there you go. No, but anyway, with Gelhardt, I'd have him back. I think a lot of people just wrote him off when he was shoved up top on his own. He was meant to be played with Stewart, and Stewart getting injured just completely wrecked that. And apparently he was injured, according to what Speakman says. So if anything, that's a bigger testament of his character. There you go. Gateshead. It's a bit of a scramble in the box, but yeah, Gateshead 2, Sunderland 3. Online council. Hey, Michael. Any chance of an overview of your opinion of the players and how they've done today? Thanks for the blogs. Always entertaining, Paul. Thanks, Paul. Well, I mean, that's supposed to be fair. Anyway, I suppose in fairness, I think a lot of the players have done okay. I think some of them have felt a bit rusty. Hang on, Gator could be through here for 3-3. No, it's should have been 3-3 probably. Anyway, I think the players have done all right. I think some of them have had lack of sharpness. I like the look of Bellingham. I think Bellingham's looked really solid. I think Niall Huggins has done pretty well actually. And I think overall no one's played badly. I just don't. But I think again it just comes down to rustiness. So we've done okay. We've done all right. But again, it's the first games of pre-season, isn't it? We've still got that trip to America, and then we've got a home friendly, and then Hartlepool before we obviously entertain Ipswich. But there you go. Cameron Quay, what is your prediction for the season? I'm guessing you mean prediction. But if you're talking prediction as of right now, depending on the type of quality of players that I do think Sunderland will go for later on in the window, 5th, maybe 4th, something like that. I think we will get playoffs again because I think our team's good enough to. Even now, I think our team's good enough to get in the top 6. But again, it just depends. James, Gelhardt is a Zola type player. Not in number 9, but the type that fits nicely into midfield and forwards. Zola didn't play solo. He's not the same player as Zola, but he's that type. Okay, fair enough. Right, let's see. Graham Stevenson apparently got the wrong brother, Cameron. Not quite Jude. Jude doesn't mind playing for Sunderland when Real Madrid's not playing. No, I wouldn't complain. Stevie says, I'm not a fan of the away kit, Michael. What do you think? I can hardly make out the badge. You mean, if Sunderland's... I like the colour of it. And actually, to be fair, one of the things, I actually quite like the fact that the kit's it's kind of embroidered to a degree. And by that, I mean, it's not a typical red and white badge. It's actually, it's sort of camouflage with the colour of the kit. And I like that a lot. Jeff, Michael, have you got a new SIP? Hope you're well, mate. I'm assuming this is a comment to do with the internet, but there you go. I might be wrong on that. Cameron Quirty, will you go up this year? I think we'll make playoffs, but right now I don't think we'll go up. I think the teams above us will just have more quality. It's as simple as that, in my opinion. I obviously hope so. I hope we go up. It'll be nice. I think in the next 2 seasons we need to be back in the Premier League for me. So I think this season I'm expecting to challenge, but I'm not. But I wouldn't necessarily be annoyed if we didn't go up. But then I would expect to go up the year afterwards, put it that way. I know that obviously the quality from teams coming down from the Prem will continue to make it harder and harder to get promoted, but I just feel like we should be that's our aim. You can't be a club the size of Sunderland in the Championship and not look to get to the Premier League. You just can't. Jeff, internet service provider. Well, funny enough, yeah. Well, our internet's been all over the place recently, but there you go. It's also helped by the fact that my MacBook Pro that I've got, that I'm using to do this live stream, is actually okay. So this is much, much better than anything on like what my phone would have been. Even though my phone obviously does a job for me, it's not the same thing as a computer itself. Hey, what's the next one? 5 teams you like apart from Sunderland. Ooh, 5 teams I like. Hartlepool's probably one of them, in fairness. Sheffield Wednesday, I'd say, is up there. Probably Plymouth. And I'm not just saying that because Steve's there. I do genuinely have quite a bit of time for Plymouth. Probably Norwich, just because I'm a fan of Talk Norwich City and I know Chris Reeve. So, yeah, quality set of lads. Oh, hang on. Gates has been played through here. Is it going to be 3-3? For the moment, it is not. That's a pretty of a dodgy clearance, that. Hang on, Gateshead on the edge of the box, still got the ball. Going to pass it out wide. Yes, they are. Sunderland still holding their own, though. 85. Well, as I finished speaking, 85 minutes gone. Gateshead 2, Sunderland 3. Sunderland have come back from 2-0 down to be leading 3-2 at Gateshead. Ball's drifted forward back towards the right-hand side. Steve also reminds me of phone jacket. Oh, God. Yeah, so what have I said? Hartlepool, Chef Wed, Plymouth, Norwich, and probably Everton. I think Everton mainly because of the way that they were with Bradley Lowry when all that was going on. The amount of class they showed was incredible. Deflected effort from Gateshead, but it's gone out for Sunderland. Sorry for Gateshead throwing. Tom Hodgson, I think Middlesbrough are in danger of missing out on playoffs. Had a lot of good loan players last season, and there's always the possibility of Akpom leaving. A very good shout. I mean, like Zach Steffen, for example, they've had Zach Steffen they had on loan from Man City last year. The fact they've signed is it Diang? I think it is, from QPR, suggests to me that they're not going for Steffen. So I would imagine that Diang's probably going to be their main keeper. Tell you who will, looks like they could be in real trouble. QPR, they're losing players left, right, and centre at the moment, unless I'm missing something and they've replaced them before selling anyone. Cameron, what just watch? It looks like Gates are a decent team. I reckon they might go up, to be fair. They might do. Be nice to see Gates. I mean, I don't know what league Gates are in. I think it's either the National League. Hang on, I think it's the National. Yes, it's the National League because they're playing Hartlepool. Of course it is. Yeah, okay. Gateshead, to be fair, Gateshead and Hartlepool would be my preferred options for going up because it'd be nice to see the two of them. Be nice to see the two of them actually be in the Football League. Oh, hang on, could be a counter attack here. See, we've got a ball into the box. It's out for a Sunderland corner. James, well, National League. Shields are in North. National League North. Okay. Amanda WJWS Wick. I don't know how you pronounce that. How much Sunderland? Well, Amanda, I'm assuming you're going to have to expand on the question if there is a question there. Yeah. As for Borough, yeah, there is a chance Akpom could leave. But like I said, it depends. I think Michael Carrick will prove to be a good coach, actually. Oh, for a free header there. Should have been 4-2 to Sunderland. It's just over 87 minutes gone. Don't worry, guys. You've only got to put up with me for another few minutes. There you go. But again, thanks to everybody staying on. Absolutely means the world. Like I said, we know Bad Mistakes obviously got more followers and he's going to get more people watching, but that's fine. He is more charismatic than I am. But he's earned it. He's a cracking YouTuber, really is. And he's off his nut, but he's hilarious. So if you want to watch the end of his stream, go for it. Steve Watson, who remembers Beatles about? I certainly don't, and I'm probably showing my age there. But anyway, yeah, ideally from the National League, I'd like to see Gateshead and Hartlepool go up, but whether they do or not, that's a different matter. Rochdale are going to be up there as well. So, yeah, it's just a bit of a scramble to get the ball. Right, Sunderland have won it back, and they've just given it away again. Oh, dear. That reminds me of Josh. Do you remember a player like that in Josh Scowen? Where Josh Scowen, or Scowen, how you pronounce it, was good at winning the ball back, but then he gives it away again straight away. So frustrating. Cameron Quirty, would you have in the Sunderland... I'm guessing you mean who would you have in the Sunderland team? Would you have in the Sunderland team that keep from Middlesbrough last year? I'm not quite... Cameron, you might have to expand on that. I'm not sure what you mean, mate. Jay as well, do you think we should be on the quiet looking for a keeper? I like Patterson a lot as a first-choice keeper, and I don't think we need another first choice, but I do definitely think we need another second choice. Because either Alex Bass probably isn't going to be good enough, or he looks like he could be going to Leyton Orient. So, there you go. Would you have this in the Sun team, the second choice keeper from Middlesbrough? I don't know whether Cameron means Zach Steffen. I don't know whether he means trying to get Steffen on loan or something. But for me, I'm happy enough with Patterson, but I just think we need a second choice keeper. Who I would have wanted. Oh, right, he's talking about Lumley. Probably not. See, Ross, being right back, just drop my walking stick. Oh, dear Stevie. Hang on. Someone getting into the box here. We've got the ball on the edge of the box. They're going to have a shot here. Oh, decent bit of skill there. And it's straight at the keeper. Cameron Steffen. Right, I see what you mean. Right, we have the... Yeah, I would have Zach Steffen easily, but I just think wages, he's going to be beyond our reach, isn't he? But yeah, I think the second choice keeper I would have had is Ben Foster, but he's re-signed for Wrexham now, hasn't he? So that's not going to happen. Right. Approaching the last 25 seconds of normal time. Gateshead 2, Sunderland 3. Still is at the moment. James Well, I was watching Bernie Slaven talking. He slated Stefan, saying he was very suspect on the ball. Like I said, I don't think we'll get him anyway. I'd imagine I probably would have him if he was going to be second choice, but he's not going to be. The Man City won't want him to be second choice, and he won't want to be. He needs to be playing games for himself. Cameron, as a Hartlepool fan, I hope you go up this year. Likewise, and I hope you go up as well. It'd be nice to see you back in the Football League after the effort you put into getting there. Right, 90 minutes have gone. How many stoppages time? How many times of stoppage are we going to see? Nope, that's it. The game has finished. Thank the Lord for everyone who has to stop listening to me. But yeah, Gateshead 2, Sunderland 3. So that's 2 wins. So we've had 12 goals across the 2 games. South Shields 3, Sunderland 4 in the earlier kickoff. And then finishing there, Gateshead 2, Sunderland 3. Let's quickly look at the last few comments before we start to wrap it up. We've got Luke O'Nine's backup keeper. Yeah, that wouldn't be a surprise, would it? Graham Stevenson. Steve Ogrizovic as backup, maybe push Patterson for number 1. Colin Swinney, England under 21's 1-0 up. It says on Sky Sports now, funnily enough, Lee Fendry's reporting on it. James Will, did Mowbray get the metro to Gateshead? Either that or he's got someone who drove him very quickly. Maybe he's got his own chauffeur. I know we've got 52 likes. So let's see if we can try and maybe push to 60 or between 55 to 60. Anyway, Steve Watson, fair play, Gateshead, giving you a good test. Yeah, no, to be fair, I mean, like I said, I'm not too bothered about. It's nice to win, don't get us wrong, but I'm not too fussed about the result because it's all about fitness and trying to get squad harmony together. But yeah, you're right, Stevie. They did give us a good test. Both teams did, to be fair. They weren't exactly easy games. Tom Hodgson, typical Sunderland, do everything the hard way. Yeah, absolutely. You know it, my friend. 56 likes. Come on. 4 more people like. Let's get to 60 likes. 2 more people like. It's on to 58. Get to 60. All I want, just 60 likes. We can do it. Yeah, but anyway. Okay, right. We're on to 59 likes. 1 more like. Come on. 1 more person who hasn't liked yet. Right. Okay, I'll keep the stream on in the background at the time being. Yeah, but anyway, no, it was there we go, 60 likes. Thank you ever so much, you absolute bunch of legends. But yeah, right, guys, we've been on for 2 hours and 6 minutes. Wow. Online council. Thanks, Michael. Much appreciated. Yeah, Steve Watson disliked. Cheeky bellend. I know the humour. But anyway, guys, look, I'm going to end up leaving it there. My throat is absolutely knackered now. So I'm going to... anyway, thanks very much. Thanks to Steve Flounder, Stevie Watson, everyone who came to watch. Had a good time doing this. Whether I'll do this again, I'm not sure, but I thought I'd give it a try. Tom Hodgson, another great stream. Cheers, Michael. I will rest assured, though, in the near future, I will be doing a 5 players I want Sunderland to sign video, and I might end up doing a couple more live Q&As or just a live chat for like an hour before the season begins. But we shall see. But Graham, thanks very much, Graham, and Stevie and Tom, whoever. Yeah, thanks to Paul as well. Thanks to everybody who came to watch. Colin, Amanda, Graham, Cole, whoever else who came to watch. Thane, absolutely legends, every single one of you. Anyway, guys, I'm going to love you and leave you. I'm going to have to go and get something to eat now, and I'm going to give me throat a bit of time to rest. Jack says, have a good night, mate. You as well. Colin Swinney, well, great job done. Thank you very much, guys. Take care. Stay safe. Love yous all lots. I was going to say stay jammy, but I'm not jam Sony. Love yous all lots. Thanks again for the support. And remember, trying to get 5K subscribers in the near future if we can. So if anyone who's watching who isn't subscribed, if you think I've earned a sub from you, hit the like button and subscribe. And of course, you can comment respectfully below. Love yous all lots, guys. Take care. Stay safe. And once again, as always, away the lads.